Hey, what's going on, fellas? What's going on, man? Hmm, move this over. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, William? Hmm. Almighty, what's going on, bro? I'm gonna try to get about 10, 15 people up in here, man. Chop it up for a second. Hey, can y'all hear me pretty good? Hey, what's going on, Charles? Hey, what's going on, Brandon? All right, you say I'm good? Hey, what's going on, Mayhem? All right, man, we got about 14, 15 people in here, man. We're gonna get it popping. So, so if everybody know, you know, maybe probably about 3, 4 weeks ago, man. What's going on, Dion? I did a live stream with Alan Roger Carey, man, and we had a little chit chat about some things that was said over some videos between him and I, and it wasn't nothing serious, man. To be honest, it was just a quick just back and forth between me and him. He had brought my name up, and I pretty much did a uh, a video back to him, man. He pretty much put a challenge out there for me, and so I ended up taking that video down. Because I usually take videos like that down after a while. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like my channel to be known for negativity. But I told myself from day one that I got on YouTube, man, that I always protect myself intellectually. So I don't really have no shame in that. But I took the video down nonetheless. But Alan Roger Carey sent me the book. And so we're gonna talk about this mode one shit for a second. And I got my own thoughts on mode one, right? And I tried to email ARC, but I'll make sure ARC see this video because I'm not taking shots or nothing, but I just want to analyze this mode one shit and mode two, mode three, and mode four. It's four modes in this thing. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat in a few, man, and we can chop it up, and I'll let some guys jump on if they want to. But for right now, I'm gonna give my views on mode one and mode two. Um, Now, here's what I think. Mode one is good for like less than 1% of men, and I'm going to explain that, man. Now, the reason that I like mode one is just what Alan Roger Carey said. Mode one gets rid of the manipulative time wasters early, so you ain't got to worry about them. But it's only going to work for a certain percentage of men. Now, Alan Roger Carey, I've been studying his YouTube videos too. Alan Roger Carey doesn't necessarily give good descriptions on what type of men that mode one is best equipped for. We talking about mode one. We talking about straightforward, letting your intentions be known early as you can with a female. So I think this, man, like mode one is letting your intentions to be known. Mode two is kind of like the if you let him explain it, mode two for men is kind of like the typical nice guy, typical, conversationalist, you chopping it up, you trying to feel her out, but you don't want to be too direct and scare her off. And so I would say myself, I'm between mode 1.5 and mode 2. I'm not always mode 1 in every single situation. And let me explain. Me personally, I would only suggest a guy to be mode 1 if he is sure that the chick is already failing you. Then you already got it in the bag. But for most men, I think Alan emailed me back. So, but for most men, like we trying to feel females out. We want to feel them out, see if they feeling us or whatever. And so, like I said, it's no such thing as a mode 1.5, but I'm not quite mode 2, but I'm not always mode 1. So I just made some shit up for myself. I'm like, well, I'm probably in between, because I let my shit be known kind of early, my intentions with women. At a certain age, I don't really beat around the bush with shit. I don't really care what church you went to or what school you went to or where your dad retired at. So I don't really get into a lot of that. But I'm not direct like, hey, I want to sleep with you. I might have did that a few times, but it's not very common in my life. So like I just made some shit up for myself. I'm old 1.5. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Alan gonna get mad at this shit because I'm making my shit up. But it's the truth, man. I think less than 1% of men in general can actually do the mode 1 thing, man. And you say mode 1.75. So yeah, mode 1 does save time and money. Now, I'm not saying that mode 1 is a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I think mode 1 is a good thing. But I'm talking about the men that can actually pull it off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna explain that a little bit too, man. I think you have to be a pretty thorough emotionalist dude to really use mode 1 through your day-to-day. I'm not talking about every now and then using mode 1. I'm talking about using mode 1 as if it's a lifestyle. Like you have to be one of those guys that, don't take no sweat off your back. You ain't tripping, like you ain't really stunting abroad, So like if you got one of those kind of personalities, then yeah, man, go for it. But I think most men are mode 2. And I think Alan Roger Carey would kind of agree with that. But just straight up going mode 1, hey, this is what I want to do all the time. I'm like, ARC gonna get somebody shot, man. ARC want to get somebody really shot, man. Because every man ain't equipped for that, man. Let me see. ARC actually hit me back. Oh, sorry about that. Blackie Hoover strikes. If women are hypergamous, if the 80-20 rule, 90-10 for blacks is real, then the math says straight mode 1 is not going to work for the vast majority of men. And I would agree, Blackie Hoover. Like I would agree. And Blackie Hoover, here's my view. Mode 1 can only work if the female is already feeling. That's first and foremost. And we got enough data to know women, as soon as they meet you, they size you up, they put you in a category, and they know if they're going to sleep with you or not. They do that within the first couple minutes of just, looking at you, getting to know you. So to me, that's the biggest variable right there. She's already feeling you. Now, here's the key. most guys probably talk their way out of the pussy. You know, y'all give me 1 second. I'm about to email Alan again. He just, what's going on, Roger? He just sent me an email. And I'll hit him back really quick. All right, cool. So like I just emailed Alan back. So, you know, like let me know what you guys think in the chat room, man. Like, am I bugging? I think mode 1 only works if the female is already feeling. So you know, that's just pretty much where I'm at with that, man. And look, you know, I don't think Alan does a good enough job in describing the kind of guys that mode 1 is actually for. Now, I'll be fair. Alan Roger Carey did say mode 1 isn't for every man. So he did say that. And I'll give him credit for that. He put that out there to the public. It's not going to be for everybody. But what I think about it is, man, you have to be a pretty thorough dude, and you kind of got to have an indifferent attitude about life in general, because you're going to get a lot more rejections than you're going to have, you know, females really accepting the mode 1 from you. So, you know, can guys really handle that? Like, you understand? So, like I said, man, I'm probably mode 1.5. And Alan gonna be pissed because I made this shit up, but I'm not quite mode 2, but I'm not mode 1 all the time. You know, I'm probably mode 1 10% of my life. How I usually go about things, man, I usually feel out the female. And if she's feeling me or we got some kind of sexual chemistry, then I can make my moves. Like depending on what it depends on the end goal is. If you look for a pump and dump, then it might work. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, you know, like I say, like I'm not quite mode. I'm definitely not mode 3 or 4. I'm definitely not mode 3 or 4. That's pretty much simp status. Mode 3 is more of the kind of friend kind of guy, like the cool hangout buddy. And mode 4 is just all of them, you know, mode 2, 3, and 4 combined. So I'm not even gonna get into that. But mode 1, man, I always had my reservations about it. You know, I always had my reservations about it, man. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm gonna explain something about ARC. I kind of want to see if you're gonna join the chat room, but if not, I'll explain something about ARC that I picked up when I did my interview with him. Y'all give me 1 second. He just hit me back. Oh, you listening? Okay, cool. All right, ARC, what's up, bro? So, yeah, man, like I'm gonna put the link. What's going on, Jay Charles? Like I'm gonna put the link inside the chat in the feed, man. But I'm gonna just get off this. Now, when I did my interview with ARC, I picked this shit up early. Early. ARC has a straight ahead. ARC has a hypnotizing power about him. Like no homo, no homo shit. ARC has a hypnotizing power about him. And he's long-winded, right? And if you let him talk, he'll keep going. He could rock you to sleep. So you kind of got to catch him. So ARC almost had me with that shit, right? But I've been dealing with guys like ARC my whole life. You know, like ARC most, you know, kind of like the old school dude in the neighborhood. You know, your aunts want to fuck them. You know, like you hear them whispering about, you know. So ARC comes on to the chat instantly, we talking and shit. So we eye to eye. We ain't behind no veils. Look, me and AI, we men, we eye to eye. So he like, yeah, man. See, Boogie, man. I'm looking at you, man. And I'm sitting back like, Negro. So he tried to pull it on me. So I peeped it early. I said, yo, this Negro got a real hypnotizing power. And I said, you know what? I bet you that really works on women a lot, right? Like, seriously. And yo, ARC laughing. But yo, I'm 100% serious, man. I picked that up the moment I got on the live stream with ARC. I said, this dude has mastered the art of hypnotizing and putting somebody's brain to sleep. Yeah, smooth, confident voice. Real talk, man. And yo, that's my assessment when I said, damn, this motherfucker good at what he do. But I'm already equipped, right? So I'm like, I'm not gonna fall for it. But the average person here rock you to sleep with it, rock you to sleep, right? So back to mode one. Because Alan is in here and I'm gonna talk turkey. I don't think Jedi mind tricks. That's funny. I don't think Alan Roger Carey does a good enough job in explaining the caliber of man that mode one is for. Like I said, most men are going to be mode two by nature because that's how we've been indoctrinated, right? And like in my personal life, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm probably mode 1.5. Now, Alan, I just made that up, but this is real talk. I'm mode 2 probably 40% of the time. I'm probably mode 1.5 the rest of the time. I'm only mode 1 if I absolutely know this female is feeling me. Now, Alan, tell me what you think about that. And now you can say I'm playing it safe or, but look, my brother uses that term one more. Yeah, mode 1.5. Now you can say I'm playing it safe, but the way that I see it, man, it's just like, look, we all go through a period where we feeling a female out. Like, look, see what she about, trying to get into her brain, whatever. For some people, it take 10 minutes. For some people, it could take 2 weeks. It all depends on the man and how much time, he want to invest in his broad. But as far as actually me being mode 1 in my everyday life, just when I'm perusing through my life on a day-to-day, nah, man, that's very seldom, bro. And I'm pretty much indifferent about being turned down by a female because I know coming out the gate, every female is not going to feel me. Every female is not going to like me. So I'm cool with that. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like putting it all out there from the jump. Sometimes like I just don't think that's good for every male. I kind of play to my strengths. So, but ARC, he has another kind of gift, man, and that is the hypnotizing gift. ARC can rock a motherfucker to sleep, man. And when I picked up on it, I automatically put it in my back pocket. I was like, okay. So as I'm reviewing Alan Roger Carey's videos, I don't really hit what's going on, JP Fitness. Excuse me, JSPK Fitness. So as I'm perusing through Alan Roger Carey's videos, man, I'm like, yo, Alan Roger Carey not really talking about this hypnotizing effect that he really has on people. And that's the real deal Holyfield, man. Alan Roger Carey, if you let him talk, he'll talk. But as he's talking, he's really getting into your mentals, man. Real talk, man. Like that's that. And I picked that up early. And another thing I picked up about ARC, because I did a video yesterday called "It's Good to Have a Chip on Your Shoulder." Alan Roger Carey still has a chip on his shoulder. He's listening. ARC had to deal with a lot of player haters. And he said it, but I picked up on the energy. You know, because ARC got a gangster side, right? where he'll just let you have it. But ARC been dealing with player haters for a long time, man. And so I can understand why sometimes he got to get a little bit gangster with people. But you know, he has been dealing with player haters, so he walks around with that chip, man. And it comes off, man. You know, if you look Alan Roger Curry eye to eye, like you can feel the energy coming up off of him, man. And I'm like, word. So no wonder why he's defensive a lot of the times, man. he's selling that vitamin water. But but yeah, man, he definitely got a hypnotizing power, man. But ARC, man, like I don't know if you can get on or not, but I don't know if you can get on or not, ARC. But I was perusing through a lot of your videos, man. You know, just getting some game, and I didn't hear a lot about the caliber of man, the caliber of man that Mode One is built for. You know, actually describing this man piece by piece. You know, didn't really hear that, man. So like that's why I came up with my own number. I said maybe less than 1% of men are built to use Mode One. You know, do I think you can train yourself into being Mode One? Yeah, but I think it's gonna take a while, man. I think it's gonna take a while. Let me see. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna copy this link. Copy. Peace. Yeah, man. Like anybody can jump on. Maybe 3 or 4 people, man. But let me see. Oh, Alan said he can jump on in for about 30 minutes. Cool. Well, I'll be here. Yeah, but if anybody, 2 or 3 people, man, we could jump on and chop it up about Mode 1 and Mode 2. I'm not even talking about Mode 3 and 4. If you Mode 3 and 4, then that's kind of simp status. But Mode 1 and Mode 2 is what I most was studying. And that's why I came up with Mode 1.5, man. And I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. The climbing of females nowadays, Mode 1 is the best way. I do think Mode 1 is the best way. And that's what I'm saying. I think it gets rid of the manipulative time wasters. It does. But we still got to talk about the man. And that's what I want to talk to Alan about. I actually want to talk about the man and what he has to do. And kind of describe some attributes about him. Because even myself, man, I'm a pretty confident guy. I don't really stunt a lot of shit, but I still don't walk around Mode 1 24/7. I'm like, yo, I'm kind of in between Mode 1 and Mode 2. You know, I'm in that little area of things, man. ARC look like he ready to 2-piece a mofo. but like I say though, Black Uhuru, it is good because it gets rid of the time wasters fast. And I think that's a good thing. Now, I've been pretty bold with females in the past. See, let me talk about this. I've been pretty bold with females, but one thing I notice about women, they can spot bullshit, right? So you gotta have some actions behind your words. You know, like a female has to know that you for real. Yo, I left a female in another state before. We was like 2 hours away. It wasn't like we was halfway across the country, but I left her ass in another state because she was very disrespectful to me. And I jumped in my car and I just left her ass, in a whole other state. But I had to kind of build up a reputation about myself too, man. This was many years ago. Because I had to have some actions to back up these words, man. And females can recognize the bullshit, man. So you kind of really got to be thorough, man. And a female got to be able to look into your eyes and know that you for real. Like when you say certain things, man. So we talking about this mode one thing, man. Like women really got to know that you the truth, man. They have to know that you won with yourself, and you won with the universe, man. Female choosing signals. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good on picking up on choosing signals. You know, pretty good at that. But yeah, man, I just post a hangout link again, man. Like anybody can jump on, chop it up about mode one and mode two. Nothing heavy, nothing serious, man. I was just giving my thoughts on it, my thoughts on what I think, and like I say, man, I think maybe less than 1% of men, and I'm talking about the United States. I'm not talking about the world. Less than 1% of men are equipped to even use mode one. Hey man, what's going on? Hey man, what's going on, man? Yo, man, you ain't rocking me to sleep today, bruh.
What's up, Sweet Boogie, man?
Hey, what's
man,
up, bro?
you cracked me out when you was imitating my voice, man. That shit had me hollering. But man, you was hitting like some things right on point, man. You said at least 2 or 3 things that was right on the mark. Number one, the chip on the shoulder, yeah, man. The play hating, yeah. If I had to say that I've had any one chip on my shoulder, well, technically I've had 2. The other one ain't related though to dealing with women. My freshman one on the side note, my freshman year, I played football, and my coach allowed me to. He allowed the team to select the quarterback instead of him selecting it. And my teammates chose me. And so I was the quarterback, but then I got sick for a week. And when I got back from being sick, he demoted me. He said, I'll never forget his words. He said, quarterbacks don't get sick. And man, my brother, just a couple years ago, he said, man, we was having a conversation. He said, it took you a few decades to let that go, didn't it, bro? He said, I can tell you had a bitterness towards that coach up until like into your like late 40s, early 50s. I said, I sure did. So that's more the side note. But yeah, man, see, before my senior year, man, you probably heard me tell this story, but I'm gonna tell it real quick again. Before my senior year, I didn't really know what player hating was because I was never really popular, I would say, with women to be player hated. And speaking of sports, I wanted to make the basketball team real bad. My junior and senior, I tried out both years. I just didn't make the cut. But the summer before my senior year, I engaged in this real intensive workout plan. And I increased my vertical, like I could dunk and shit. Even though I was only like about 5'10" and a half. And I did. The bad news was I still didn't make the team. The good news was though, I developed this real, I know you about working out and shit. I developed this real lean cut physique from this real regimen I had. That so when school started that fall, man, you know, I just had to say at the risk of sounding conceited, man, women start going crazy over me, man. Because before then, my first 3 years of high school, I wasn't fat, but I was kind of chunky. I was just somewhat chunky. But my senior, I was like lean, cut, chiseled physique. And women took notice to it, man. And I just started getting like jocked like crazy, man. Like I would go to like, when we went to other schools for games and stuff, women sometimes would literally scream at my ass, man. Like I was like a movie
so this was in the 70s, right?
This was the 80s. This was when my senior year was the 1980-81 school year.
Okay.
And so yeah, man, women, the good news was women was going crazy over me. All my friends were shit. They was like, damn, Alan, man, you the fucking man this year, man. You getting the women going crazy over you, man. But along with that, it's just a natural thing with men, not all men, but a lot of men, when they see one dude getting a whole bunch of attention from women, they just start hating. So I would be at different events and like say some guys, they would just leave it to verbal stuff. I would hear them a few feet away. They'd be like, man, who's this nigga, man? It's like pretty boy looking type nigga, man. I ought to go over there and fuck that motherfucker up, man. He got all the bitches going crazy over him. Fuck that nigga, man. He ain't shit. And that would just kind of blow my mind because I was like, I don't know these niggas, man. Why they talking shit about me? I ain't never said none of them and shit. But they was just basically, they was jealous over the attention they saw me giving. And I had at least probably 4 or 5 instances where guys literally tried to start fights with me, man. I'd be at like a party or something, and dudes come up, man, hey, man, my girlfriend, man, she can't stop talking about you, man. I don't like that shit, man. Man, so, man, you know, I'm going to have to mess you up. I'd be like, what?
Let me ask you a question real quick. Now, was you a fighter before the player hating started, or like did that make you get into more of a fighting kind of guy?
That's a good question, C. Williams. I've actually mentioned this on my YouTube channel. Now, before that, I was never really, I wasn't no punk type motherfucker, but I wasn't a motherfucker who was known for scrapping. So, you know, I got an older brother, I got some, you know, close friends and shit. And at least half the time, man, when people start shit with me, my boys would always step in before it got too deep. They'd be like, nah, you can't mess with my boy Allen, man. That's my nigga, you know. Like when my brother was still in school, he'd be like, nah, man, you ain't gonna fuck with my younger brother and other dudes. But what that caused, my freshman year in college, I took up martial arts, a discipline called White Tiger Peilum Kung Fu. Because of that play hating that happened my senior year, it made me get into martial arts. Now, I didn't get deep to the point where I reached black belt level, but I did get deep into it for about 2 years. And if nothing else, I learned how to defend myself. Like I always say, my offensive fighting skills are probably slightly above average, but defensively, I consider myself very good. I know how to prevent myself from getting knocked the fuck out. Because I got quick hands. I learned how to defend myself from. But yeah, it all started with that play hating that happened my senior year, man. And it just, man, it kind of left me not only pissed off, man, but it left me confused, man. But, you know, I understand it now, just knowing the nature of men. But it was kind of mind-blowing to me at that time, man. I was like, damn, man. Because I guess the thing I couldn't understand, I used to think somebody would want to fight you because you talk shit to them or you did something to them, like stole money from them. But a motherfucker you ain't never had not even one conversation with gonna come to you because he saw his girlfriend looking at you or making a flattering comment, all of a sudden he want to fight you. That was like mind-blowing to me. I was like, okay, what's up with this shit?
So like, let me say this, like Alan. So like we did the live stream on one day, and I had to tell people like it wasn't that serious. Like I just did a response, but the moment you jumped on the live stream, I said, "This nigga trying to hypnotize me." I real talk. I was like, "Yeah, seriously," and I put it in the back of my head because I said, "Okay, I'm gonna study some of his videos, and I'm gonna really get into the mind of ARC." Because, you know, because I have been thinking about that live stream a few times since then. And I'm like, okay, he has mastered the art of putting somebody's brain to sleep, man. And I listen to me. And I figured that out within the first couple minutes. And I'm like, yo, man, if I wasn't me, I would have been like, you know, kind of sedated, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, if he does this with these females, then that's a cold motherfucking trick. And you good at the mental piece, man. And I'm like, okay, like he got this on lock. This is his gift. I mean, obviously. I mean, we all got gifts, right? And I picked up on the chip on your shoulder as well. I said, you know what? Talking to ARC one-on-one, I get a better understanding of you know, he had to deal with a lot of bullshit player haters over his life. and maybe even still to this day. Like you can pick up on that energy. And I'm not even talking about the times you got gangster on camera and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's probably more entertaining for some guys. But just me talking to you, I'm like, damn, man. You know, it's more to this guy than, you know, sucking toes and fucking, you know, writing books and shit, right? So I'm like, all right, man, you know, and I went back and I watched a lot of your videos, man, just to kind of start connecting dots on our interview. Then I was like, this he's a master hypnotizer, and if you let him talk, he'll sedate you. So I'm like, man, mode one, you know, you can, Alan, you can do mode one. I mean, because you got some gifts. Like I said, I believe, and you can correct me, and I'm gonna let you go. I believe that less than 1% of men are truly equipped for the mode one lifestyle. That's why I said I'm probably more 1.5. And I'll let you go.
Well, here's what I would say. And this actually slightly involves a little tiff me and Obsidian got into last year. As you know, I got 4 books, and 2 of them are Mode 1, of course, and then I got a book called Ooh Say It Again. And that's all about like erotic dirty talk and enhancing your verbal seduction skills. Here's what I would say. In simplifying it, there's kind of 2 components to what I do. The Mode 1 piece is solely about just being verbally direct. When it comes to being verbally direct, I think anybody, any man can learn to develop the confidence and courage to be more verbally direct and more straightforwardly honest with women. So that component, I don't think takes a special skill or special talent. I think that's teachable to pretty much any heterosexual man. To your point, I will agree for the most part that my talent for verbal seduction and erotic dirty talk with women, that's an acquired talent that I have helped some men improve upon, particularly through my one-on-one coaching when I work with guys. But yeah, I will generally agree. There's some guys that just won't be able to either, period, they won't be able to acquire that talent, or it's going to take them some years. It's going to be like a slow, gradual thing. It ain't going to be like no overnight. Because I would even say for me, it wasn't no thing that happened like overnight. That was something that came over a period, you know. But it's funny you punched the word hypnotize with 2 things on the concept of hypnotism. You pretty much hit it on the head. Here's generally what hypnotism is. When you said, you use the phrase, put your brain to sleep. Technically what hypnotism is, all of us operate mainly from 2 aspects of our mind, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. And they work totally differently. One difference is your subconscious mind is not really as moralistic as your conscious mind. Like your conscious mind look at things from the standpoint of, is this right? Is this wrong? Is this appropriate? Is this inappropriate? Your subconscious mind looks at things from the perspective of, it mainly relates to your past experiences. So if you're thinking about doing activity XYZ, your subconscious will say, okay, in the past, is XYZ something that C Boogie looked at as pleasurable, enjoyable, exciting, satisfying? Or it was activity XYZ something that C Boogie looked at as frustrating, painful, boring, tedious? And if it's in the latter category, it's going to work to shy you away from that activity. Whereas if it was considered enjoyable activity, it's going to make you gravitate towards that activity. So that's the main difference between your conscious and subconscious mind. Hypnotism, in a manner of speaking, is the process of lulling someone's conscious mind to sleep so you can talk directly to their subconscious mind.
Nigga, you're doing it now, but go ahead. I'm not going to get, you're doing it now, bro, but go ahead, man.
I'm gonna tell you a little trick, man. I give you one story related to a trick I learned. It was from watching, of all things, a TV show about It was a TV talk show, and they had this dude on there. He was, he was a diet and fitness expert, along with being, I think he had a psychology background. And this woman was asking questions about diet, and he said one mistake that a lot of people make when they trying to diet, avoid a certain food, is they'll say, "Ooh, I'm not gonna eat any more German chocolate cake. I'm not gonna eat any more German chocolate cake." And he said, "That's a mistake." And the woman said, "Why?" He said, "Because related to what I was just talking about, the distinction between conscious and subconscious." He said, "See, here's what happens in your mind. If you got a food you love, such as German chocolate cake, and you say to yourself, because I'm on a diet, I'm not going to eat German chocolate cake. I'm not going to eat German chocolate cake." He said, your conscious mind hears that whole statement. I'm not going to eat German chocolate cake. But he said the way your subconscious mind works is it only hears German chocolate cake. And immediately it's going to start assessing, is German chocolate cake something that Cindy Lou enjoys eating? Has she enjoyed eating this in the past? And he said, if it has been, then it's going to start conjuring up memories of all the enjoyable moments you had eating German chocolate cake. So he basically said, in a nutshell, even though you're saying, I don't want to eat German chocolate cake, your subconscious mind might as well be saying, I want German chocolate cake, because it's going to be having all these memories. So I listened to that, and I said, damn. So now a little story related to that. I'm working this election years ago, and it was a sister. She was Ivy League educated. Me and her was getting into these political related arguments and shit. And then afterwards, me and a buddy and her and two of her girlfriends went to this restaurant. And I had rolled with my buddy, and he was ready to go kind of early. He said, hey, Alan, man, you know, I'm ready to go. And then she said, no, I'll give Alan a ride home. And right there, I knew she was kind of feeling me. So I said, yeah, man, I'll just get a ride with her. So she ends up giving me a ride. And I told her, before you take me to the crib, let's ride by the beach. There's this beach in Northwest Indiana. And she said, okay. So skipping over some miscellaneous details, we get to park, we park. And I just boldly, man, I just pulled out my dick. And I said, I can't wait for you to wrap them juicy lips around my dick. And she said, are you crazy? I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you just pulled out your dick. See, you actually think I'm going to suck your dick. I said, I know you're going to suck my dick. I know you're attracted to me. I know I turn you on. By the way, you...
Stop right there. Now, this is what I want to ask you so I can capture this moment. Now, you as a man, like I don't know how old you was, but you as a man, what frame of mind was you in as far as masculinity, as far as self-esteem, as far as where you was financially? Capture that for me so I can really, really let the audience know. Because, like, here's my thing. I think in order to be that bold, you got to be one with yourself, man. Like, all your shit got to be tight. You really got to be feeling yourself. Because I have these times where, like, I might leave the gym from a good workout session and I be on cloud fucking nine. And I be really feeling myself. Like, you know what? You know, I could probably pull that shit off. But explain that to me, man.
Well, I can tell you the first characteristic that I wasn't going to tell you with financially, man, for almost my entire 20s, dude, I was either broke or if not just broke, I was financially struggling. I was never really what I would call financially self-sufficient in my 20s. So I never had money working for me in my 20s and even for the most part, my early to mid 30s. But I had my physique. I was real fitness oriented. So definitely, man, I'm telling all the fellas out there, man, if y'all want to measure between the two, in general, I'll say both important. But if I had to choose between the two, man, having your fitness game is 2 to 3 times more important than having your money game right. Money game, to me, from my experience, that comes more into play when you're looking for something long-term. When you're looking for something long-term with a woman, that's when they're going to put more emphasis on your career success game, your financial success game. But when you're talking about something like a one-night stand, weekend fling, you know, short casual sex flings, honestly, most women don't care about that shit. A lot of guys think they do, but they don't. They don't care about your money game, really. I know a lot of women, they don't really care about that at all. But they definitely care about, you know, is your physique reasonably attractive? Do you take care of yourself? Your hygiene, smell good, that type of thing. They care about that shit. And biggest thing, your confidence and your sense of masculinity, they definitely care about that shit. They definitely care about that shit. So yeah, I would say I had all those things working in my favor. And yeah, man, so I was just bold enough now. In this Me Too movement, I always tell guys, man, I don't want guys emulate me as far as just pulling out their dick without a woman's consent, particularly if the woman say a coworker or something like that. But yeah, in that instance, I just boldly pulled my shit out. And here's where I got it related to what that guy said on that TV show that I borrowed from him since. I said, you know you gonna suck my dick. I was real cocky, but I said, you know you gonna suck my dick. She said, no, I'm not. I said, yes, you are. I said, okay, here's what I got. I said, if you're not gonna suck my dick, say it. And she looked at that as something easy to do. She said, you want me to tell you I'm not gonna suck your dick? I said, yeah. Look me in my eye and say, I'm not gonna suck your dick. She said, oh, that's easy. She said, I'm not gonna suck your dick, Alan. And you know, I don't know if you know my signature phrase, but I already told you it's the title of one of my books. Say it again. That's like everybody know that's my signature phrase. I said, say it again. She said, okay, Alan, I'm not gonna suck your dick. I kept saying, say it again. Now I'm gonna ask you before I tell you. What do you think happened between the first 2 to 3 times she said, Alan, I'm not gonna suck your dick, and the 9th, 10th, or 11th time she said that?
So you made her say it 11 times.
I made her say it, yeah. I must, at bare minimum, I made her say it about 10 times. And it, man, I wish I had it on video, man. You'd be tripping, C Boogie. With each time she repeated it, her demeanor changed somewhat to some degree each time. It started off being this real stern, like, Alan, I'm not gonna suck your dick. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm not gonna suck your dick. By the time she got to the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th time, it was like, Alan, I'm not gonna suck it. I'm not gonna.
Man, you sedated her motherfucking ass.
I said, you gonna suck what? She said, I'm gonna suck your dick. I said, say it again. She said, because see, what happened was what that guy explained on the TV show. I knew the only way she would get turned off is if she had a real bad experience sucking dick. Like some motherfucker rammed his dick down her throat and almost choked her to death. Then my technique wouldn't have worked. But what I confidently said in my mind was, if this woman has sucked dick before and enjoyed sucking dick before, she gonna start reminiscing on the time she sucked dick and enjoyed it, and that's gonna turn her on, knowing how to subconscious mind. And that's literally exactly what happened. Her voice starts softening up. And then I just literally, man, reached my hand and started pushing her head down. I never forget, she looked up at me right before she was about to suck my dick. She said, I hate you. And I said, I love you too. And then she started sucking my dick. So yeah, man, I've had women, so many women over the years that when I would seduce, they would say, Alan, you know what I feel like you did? I feel like you hypnotized me. That I literally, and I put this in your chat room, I wrote a script based on that. My script, because before I got in this whole dating coach thing, I was pursuing a career in the entertainment industry and mainly a screenwriter. I would pitch different screenplays to Hollywood executives. And on the side note, man, they didn't like a lot of my scripts. In manosphere terms, they felt like my scripts were too red pill. They'd be like, Alan, you got some good characters in the script, but the way you portray women, I don't know if women will come to the theater and want to see themselves portrayed. Because it wasn't like I wrote female characters in a negative way, but I wrote them in a real way, mainly as it relates to them being sexually duplicitous. Mm-hmm. All my scripts had women that were sexually duplicitous. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Hollywood executives, they didn't like that shit. They would be like, they wanted me to portray women as, you know, the innocent, wholesome, good girl type that's looking for the love of her life. And I basically used to be like, that shit ain't real, man. But anyway, I had this script called Hypnotize. Here's a story where I talk about this, man. You know, I don't think you have my book, Who Said Again, but if you do, in part 2, I got 6 verbal seduction stories. And probably the most prominent one is verbal seduction story number 1. Matter of fact, I think I referenced this story when you interviewed me the last time. But anyway, I was on a triple date with 2 friends. Actually, one of the 2 friends was actually my brother. My brother don't like me to say that publicly, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it was actually my older brother. But he told me to replace him in the book, but just say it was a close friend. But this woman, man, skipping on Miss Lane's teachers, I was on this triple date. And for about the first hour and 15 minutes of this triple date, they had me set up with the cousin of this chick that was one of my buddies' date. Man, see, Boogie, if you saw the way she was talking to me and treating me, man, I would lose some credibility points. Man, she was treating me like a beta male chump, man. She was like, why you keep touching on me? You ain't gonna get none. I don't know why you acting like you gonna get some. I ain't no slut. I ain't no hoe. Quit trying to do this and quit trying. I mean, she was just talking, just like the, hate to generalize, but just like the typical loud talking, sassy mouth sister. So what happened was I went outside, I got frustrated, and plus my brother and his friend was looking at me like, damn, man, because we was in a studio apartment and they was with their dates. They gave me this look like, man, you kind of fucking up the vibe because y'all starting to argue and shit. So I just went outside. I was like kind of mumbling to myself. I was like, this fucking bitch, man. This bitch fucking disrespecting me and shit. And I didn't know she was behind me. So she started taunting me. She was like, oh, poor baby pouting. Oh, somebody pouting. Man, see, but I said when I spoke at the 21 convention, because I told this story at the 21 convention last year, this was what I call my turning point moment. And that was the theme of my speech last year was I said, all guys need a turning point moment. Because up to this point, man, I was basically, you could say, your proverbial nice guy, well-mannered. You know, my mother had always taught me to be polite and shit and all that stuff. And I bought into that. But that night more than any other individual night, that was when I changed, man. Because when she started taunting me, I turned around, I looked at dead in the eyes, I said, bitch, shut the fuck up. And to this point, I had never even thought about saying no shit like that to a woman, particularly in the first interaction. And she said, and here's something you said. You said something before I got on. You talked about you got to show a woman with your eyes that you mean business. And that was a great perception, C Boogie, because again, at the 21 convention, that's exactly what I said. I said, fellas, when you show your erotic dominance to a woman, your alpha side to a woman, most women, they ain't gonna buy into it immediately. They're gonna try to challenge it. And one of the ways you can tell that they're trying to challenge it, they're gonna lean into you and they're gonna look you dead in your motherfucking eyes. Like, and that's their way of saying, are you really alpha or are you just a beta male pretending right now like you alpha? That's what they basically saying when they lean. And that's exactly what she did. She leaned into me. She said, what did you say? And see, their attitude is if you're a beta pretending to be alpha, that you're going to back down at that moment. That you're going to be like, oh, I didn't mean to say it like that. My fault. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. You know, you're going to back down and apologize. But I didn't. I stepped right back in her. I leaned closer into her. I said, bitch, you heard what I said. I said, shut the fuck up. And see, Boogie, dude, it was the most amazing thing, man. Within a matter of seconds, her whole demeanor changed. She went from that loudmouth, sassy talking, her voice, the first thing I had, her voice dropped. She said, Alan, you tripping. You tripping. And I said, bitch, this was going to happen. For the rest of the night, I'm going to give you 2 options. You either going to suck the shit out of my dick like you owe me money, or you gonna shut the fuck up the rest of the night. You ain't allowed to say shit to me. Them are your only 2 options. And she nodded her head. She said, okay. I said, matter of fact, who drove? Did you or your cousin drive? She said, I did. My car's right over there. I said, let's go to your car. Here was another key thing. Normally when women call me sir, I usually tell them to call me sir. I'll say, call me sir. On her own, she said, yes, sir. Now, externally, I played it off like, you know, like I expected to say it. But in my mind, dude, I was tripping. I was like, what the fuck? So that was revolutionary to me because in my mind, all this was going through my mind like, damn, so this is what it takes, Alan. This is what it takes for you to show a woman your alpha side, your dominant side, not to back down from their shit test. and they'll start to reveal their feminine side. So we went to her car. She started sucking my dick. Then she told me she wanted me to fuck her real bad. So we went back into the apartment. And everything I told her to do, she did. Like I said, get on your fours. Get on all fours so I can fuck you doggy style. She was like, yes, sir. I said, suck my dick and lick my balls. She was like, yes, sir. Now, going back to the hypnotism piece, man, after I got finished fucking him, my brother, man, he was just staring at me. Him and his boy, man, they was like looking like, they couldn't even concentrate on the women they was with because their mouths was open like. So my brother, he says, yo, bro, let me talk to you for a second. He said, hey, man, did you go outside and get her drunk? I said, no, man. You didn't see me leave here with no liquor. I didn't have no. He said, man, did you like? I said, no, man, I had no weed. And then the biggest one was his third question. He said, okay, bro, I know from being your brother, most of the activities you engage in, but I'm sure you've engaged in some stuff you don't tell me. He said, I got to ask you. I said, what? He said, did you take a hypnotism class? I started laughing. I said, no. I said, why'd you ask that? He said, man, I'm serious, man. He said, man, look at this honey, man. He said, man, before you left this apartment, that bitch was giving you the business, man. She was like loud talking to you like almost like you was her fucking son. And he said, you went out. And then when you brought her back in, man, this bitch is like your personal sex slave, man. It's like I was watching her, man. It was almost like you had her in a trance, man. And I'm not even saying that to be funny, man. It's like you had her literally in some kind of like hypnotic trance, man. She like obeyed every fucking thing you said, man. He was like, how the fuck did you pull that shit off? I said, I don't know, man. I just changed my behavior towards her while I was outside. You know, I let her know I wasn't going to take no more bullshit. And that either she was going to give me some pussy or I was going to make her shut the fuck up. And he said, that's it. Nothing else. And I heard you use the term Jedi mind trick. He said, bro, you don't use some kind of Jedi mind trick on that bitch, bro. He said, I ain't never seen no shit like that, man. Really. He said, I ain't never seen no shit like that where a woman was acting like a bitch. And then, you know, half hour later, she just acting like a personal sex slave. He said, that's some amazing shit. He said, man, you might have not intentionally tried to hypnotize that bitch, but he said, as far as I'm concerned, you hypnotized. You said something to that bitch, you hypnotized her ass.
Nah, man, hey, Alan, that's a gift, man. You know, that's a gift. And you know, I'm pretty good at reading people in general, men and women. Like even when I worked at like prisons and shit, you know, I would have to, you know, read inmates, read their body language, you know, because you want to see what they on that day. They could be tripping, bugging out.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I told you before, man, so we did the interview, bro. The first 2 minutes, man, I sat back and I said, okay, you know, that's the first thing I picked up. I said he has a gift in this area. Now, and that's where the impression came from and shit. Cause it was funny. I'm like, man, you know, hey, Alan, man, you know, man. so I'm like, oh shit. So okay, but I wanna this shit's funny. Okay, so what you think about the mode 1.5? Like, I know that's some shit that I just made up. Cause I was thinking, I said, look, man, I'm not maybe mode 1 as far as my lifestyle. I have my mode 1 moments, but I'm not quite mode 2 because I kind of, I'm not really into all the, you know, I don't really care what church you went to. I don't really care what school you went to with a lot of women. I kind of bypass a lot of that nowadays. So I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I do a lot of feeling out with women, try to feel them out, try to talk to them a little bit in the beginning, try to read their body language, just try to pick up on certain things that I know are cues that she is feeling me. And then once I know she's feeling me, then that's when I go to more of a mode 1 approach. Like, okay, she likes C Boogie, she like what she see, she like what I'm selling. Now I can, you know, go in and hit that target. So what you think about mode 1.5?
Well, first of all, that's a term that's been used before. My brother, for a few years now, that's the phrase he uses. when he talks to people about Mode 1, he'll say, you know, I'm actually more so Mode 1.5. Well, my followers and clients know I actually do have two versions of Mode 1. And you can say one of them might be considered Mode 1.5. I have what I call conventional Mode 1, and then I have what I call Mode 1 Hardcore. I actually have an ebook called Mode 1 Hardcore. The difference is Mode 1 Hardcore, that's when you say something sexually provocative or sexually explicit, like right out the gate. So like if I was approaching a woman, say at a party or social event, and pretty much the first thing out of my mouth is, damn, I want to fuck the shit out of you. You got some nice juicy ass titties, nice ass. I want to bend you over and fuck you doggy style. And that's literally like the first thing I say. I call that Mode 1 Hardcore. And you got some big balls and some you just mentioned. Two things. You got big balls to pull that off, and you got to know how to read women. Like, speaking of acquired talents, like I was talking about with erotic dirty talk, that's one of the things, that's one of my biggest emphasis when I do my one-on-one coaching. Helping men on how to read women better. Because Mode 1 is so much more effective when you know how to read women. Matter of fact, that's part of the reason, other than the part I wanted to emphasize erotic dirty talk skills. That was probably the secondary reason why I wrote Who Said Again, because I felt like when I wrote Mode 1, I didn't really mention that. And I realized from some of the feedback I was getting on Mode 1 that a lot of guys, they don't know how to read women. I would say the vast majority of guys don't know how to read. Like I was just doing that in my Patreon exclusive live stream. I was talking about this. I was telling the guys, I said, I'm at such an advanced level. I use the analogy of, did you see the Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use this lighthearted analogy. I said, if you watch the Terminator, even though you can't compare a computer to a human, but I said because he was a computer, basically, you've noticed in the scenes where they show when he would first meet people, he would size them up in a matter of seconds. Like he would know their body temperature, their heart rate, whether they were in a good mood, bad mood, et cetera, et cetera. I said, that's kind of how I am now. When I meet women, I can just look at them for maybe like 10, 20, 30 seconds, and I can size them up. Specifically, I can tell if a woman's kinky type versus a prudish type. You know, the type that's going to be a quick, easy fuck versus a woman that's going to try to challenge me and resist me big time, et cetera. And so, yeah, man, that's a talent that a lot of men need to develop. But yeah, man, if you know how to read women and you got big ass balls, Mode 1 Hardcore, I've had some great seductions being Mode 1 Hardcore. But my more conventional form of Mode 1 is when you start off, number one, language-wise, with pretty tame language, what I call PG-13 language. When I'm being just regular Mode 1, my opening, it kind of changes up from woman to woman, but I would say the closest thing I have to a default opener is I will say something like, so, we sharing each other's company next week or the week after? And they'll usually say, huh? I ain't never had no man just say that to me. And then that kind of gets the conversation flowing. Then from there, I find out, are they single? They'll tell me on their own if they're married or engaged to be married or whatever. Then they'll start asking me questions about, you know, my approach. And then from there, I hate to use PUA terms, but there's a PUA term they called escalate. You can say with Mode 1 conventional, I start off tame and then I slowly escalate into being more provocative and more explicit. If nothing else, though, even when I'm Mode 1 conventional, I let women know out the gate. I'll usually say something along the lines of, I got to let you know up front, I ain't looking for nothing platonic. If you're looking to recruit a new platonic male friend, I ain't the one. So I'm letting you know right now, I ain't going to be your buddy. I ain't going to be your platonic friend. You know, I ain't interested in none of that. And it's funny, even when I just say that, some women will say, oh, so essentially you telling me you want to fuck me. This is what you said. And I'll be like, yeah, you got it. But yeah, so if I don't say nothing X-rated, nothing triple X-rated, at minimum, I tell women, I say, hey, up front, I got to tell you, I ain't into the hanging out as buddies or platonic friends. I don't do that shit. But yeah, so you can say that a good nickname for my conventional Mode 1 is Mode 1.5. But the other thing you're on point with that you emphasize, and this is the main reason, maybe the biggest reason why I like Mode 1 over Mode 2, you brought up, or somebody in your chat room brought up manipulative time wasters. See, what I found from my experience being Mode 2 with indirect, man, is when you too vague and ambiguous with your language, there's a lot of women out here, like you might meet some women, see Boogie, that might love talking to you. They might love the fact that, you know, you got entertaining conversation, a good vibe, but for whatever reason, they don't really want to give you the pussy. But they know if they straightforwardly tell you that you're going to leave them alone at that moment. So that's when they go into manipulative time waster mode. They're going to basically try to give you the misleading impression that you get a chance to get in that pussy when they know all along you don't. And see, I got played in my younger years by some manipulative time wasters that had me thinking I was getting that close to getting the pussy, when in reality, I was still that far away from getting the pussy. And that would always leave me feeling agitated and frustrated. Whereas I noticed once I switched to Mode 1 more consistently, the manipulative time wasters, they had no choice but to either reciprocate or reject. And a lot of them would get mad. I literally just within the last 2 weeks, I had a woman get pissed because I could sense she was a manipulative time waster. And I was like, hey, if we ain't fucking, I ain't got no more conversation for you. And she said, really? You can't just talk to a woman? And like, here's a phrase they love to use. Manipulative time wasters, they always love to punch the phrase, get to know. And that's what this woman said. She said, you can't take a few weeks to just get to know me like a normal man would? I said, fuck that shit. I don't need to spend 5 weeks getting to know you. I said, if we ain't fucking, I ain't got no more conversation for you. And she said, you're so shallow, you're superficial. Then she wrote me this long ass, man, it's encyclopedia length email. Called herself dressing me down. She called me all basically saying I was a shallow superficial, and that's what's wrong with men. They just wanted to get in the woman's pants. And I was like, I ain't even write back nothing, you know, heated. I just said, you be blessed. Have a good life. And but yeah, man, Mode 1, I tell my client, even when Mode 1 doesn't help you get laid, the number one consolation prize is going to always help you quickly identify those time wasters, man. Because a lot of men think that what I call rejectors are the enemy. But what you'll learn, man, as you deal with more and more women, you'll learn to appreciate the women who reject you quickly and straightforwardly, because those women saving you time and they saving you money. They basically let you know from the get-go, hey, I ain't gonna give you no pussy, so it ain't no point in you wasting your time. Whereas the time wasters, man, they gonna have you take them out on 5, 6, 7 dates, talk to them on the phone multiple times, do this and that for them, and then somewhere down the line, they're gonna give you what I call the talk. They're gonna say, hey, C-Boogie, we need to talk. And you're like, yeah, what's up? Well, you know, I really enjoy your companionship, but I don't really feel the sparks that I thought I would. So I was hoping we could be just friends. And here's what normally happens in that situation. You know, if you're a classy guy, in her face, you ain't going to go off too much. You're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. But one of your boys, you're going to get them on the phone. I know this has happened to me. When my boys been in that situation, they'll call me sometimes at 2 in the morning. Alan, man, you awake, man? I'm like, yeah, what's up? Man, I was at this club, right? I'm talking to this bitch for like an hour and a half, right? And shit. You know, I'm thinking she feeling me, right? You know? And then at the end of the conversation, I said, yeah, you know, we need to hook up and do this and that and do this. And she said, oh, I just ran into my ex-boyfriend. I think I'm going to get back with her. Bitch, why the fuck you let me talk to you for 90 minutes? And they'll think I'm going to co-sign with them, but I'll be like, bro, why'd you let it go to 90 minutes before you told them what was really your desires and interests? You should have laid that out in the first 5, no more than the first 10 minutes of the conversation. Well, I thought, man, you know, I would let her, you know, get comfortable and shit, you know, make sure that she don't think I'm a weirdo or a horn dog and shit. I was like, man, fuck that, man. Tell that woman straight up, man, what you trying to do. Because now look at you. How you feeling right now? You feeling agitated? You feeling frustrated? And that's, to me, the minimal scenario is wasting an hour and a half. I've had guys, like I had one buddy, I told a story on my channel. He had met this woman. She was fine. She was fine, motherfucker. She was probably like a 9.5 on a 1 to 10 scale. Man, he started buying her all kinds of material gifts. Took her all kinds of 4- and 5-star restaurants. It was the worst thing he did, C Boogie. Man, he paid for this bitch to go to Cancun with 2 of her girlfriends, and she didn't even let him go with them.
Damn.
I'm like, how you gonna pay for a bitch's trip and you ain't even on that trip with her? And sure enough, here was the thing. I told her this one was funny. I predicted everything that was gonna happen after that. I said, bro, you know what's about to happen? He said, what? I said, within 5 days after she come back from Cancun, she gonna say, let's call him Frank. I said, she gonna say, Frank, we need to talk. And then she gonna start off complimenting you. She gonna say, Frank, you're a really great guy. You're gonna make some woman a great boyfriend, a great husband. But honestly, I just don't feel you in a romantic or sexual way. And I'm hoping we can still be friends. And at the time, he's like, no, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Sure enough, dude. Sure enough, almost to the T. About 3 or 4 days after she came back from Cancun, he called me, man. He almost literally, man, he was like, you know, your boys don't want to cry with you on the phone, but you know how you can tell your boys like at least on the verge of crying. He had that angry/hurt voice. And then when he ended up saying, he said, man, Al, man, God damn, man, you showed me you a true friend, man. You tried to warn me about this bitch, man. Do you know everything you said to me? She did almost verbatim, man. She said, can we talk? You predicted that. Then she started hyping me up, talking about, yeah, you gonna make some other woman a great husband, a great boyfriend. I said, bitch, I don't want to hear that shit. And then she started saying she wasn't really feeling me on the sexual tip. And I was like, bitch, I done spent over $2,500 on your fucking ass and shit. How you gonna tell me that shit now? He said he started going off on her. And she was like, see, this is what he's talking about. You got a temper problem. This is why we can't date. And he said, he was like, bitch, you should have told me all this shit before I spent all this money on. But I had to tell him, I said, man, I understand you got some degree of anger towards her, man, but you got to take over 50% of the blame for this, man. You was basically trying to buy her good graces, man. You thought money would endear her to you and earn brownie points with her, and that shit backfired, man. And I said, you just gotta you gotta chalk that one up to the game, man. You gotta charge that off to the game, man. You know, she played you, but you set yourself up to be played.
Yeah, man. I got a couple questions, man, because I know you say you didn't have a lot of time, but I got a few questions, Al. Yo, man, and yo, I gotta salute you, man, for even coming on here, because you dropping some all-star game, all mental game, and that's you know, like I think this will really be good for some of my younger subs, man. You know, like this is all mental, man, subconscious shit. Like you really into another realm of things, man, when it comes to women. But yo, man, my question is this. So I actually want to talk about the men, right? Describe to me, and you know, just in your words, the caliber of man that you think is equipped to use Mode 1. I'm talking about as far as a way of life, because I got Mode 1 tendencies. Let's not get it twisted. But I'm talking about if C Boogie was to make Mode 1 a way of life, you know, yeah. Like I'll ask you another question when you're done.
Well, here's the thing, man, and this is what I impress upon guys is that, well, I would say just like I know a battle for me, and I can tell from your videos you like to hit the gym and whatnot. You know, for a lot of guys, I don't come natural. You know, like I know with me, I was just saying on my very most recent video on my channel, man, that I've struggled with the temptation to eat a lot of junk food. I kind of have somewhat of addiction to junk. Well, not anymore because I got this ailment called GERD. But you know, most guys who eat right and exercise, in a nutshell, they got to train themselves. They got to have a high degree of discipline to make that a way of life, as opposed to just a temporary thing for a few weeks or a few months. They got to train themselves because their natural temptation is going to be to eat bullshit or to be lazy with their exercise. And I would say the same thing with Mode 1, say, versus Mode 2. society almost pretty much programs men and brainwashes men to be mode 2. Mode 1, when you mode 1, man, you're essentially going against the grain of society's norms and conventions. And that's what's going to always make it challenging, man. And that's why a lot of women have a negative reaction to it, even if a lot of those women are still attracted to you and turned on by you, because it flies against their social programming. It flies against what their mommy told them, how a man should behave, how their father, even though a lot of dads, they know what's really up, but, you know, they don't want a guy like C Boogie just tearing their daughter's pussy up and shit. So they almost gonna try to make their daughter gravitate towards more of a beta male type dude. But that's gonna be the first challenge, man. You going against the grain when you mode 1. So that takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of courage on a man's part. And plain and simply, man, not all men are equipped for that, man. A lot of men have fragile egos. So I would say if a man has a fragile ego, he's going to have a tough time incorporating mode 1, man. Because a lot of women going to give him negative feedback that he ain't going to be able to handle. You know, I've had a lot of guys admit to me, they're like, Alan, man, you've told me some of your stories, how women went off on you when you was mode 1. They'll be like, Alan, I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if I can handle a woman, you know, just flat out telling me I'm an asshole to my face, you know, that I didn't have no home training, that I'm rude, I'm disrespectful, I'm crass. So that's the first thing. In order to be mode 1, you got to be a guy that learns how to, as I say, brush off those type of personal jabs from women, those subjective criticisms. And the main reason why a lot of women do that, man, here's what quickly goes on in women's head. I call it in my book, Who Said Again, the internal conflict. Let's say you got a woman named Linda and her mother and father told her that the guy, Linda, you need to hook up with is a guy who's a gentleman, you know, who doesn't use profanity, who doesn't talk about sex, gives you flowers on the first date, basically the proverbial gentleman. And they say, okay, mom, okay, dad, yeah, I agree with you. But then let's say they meet a lot of guys like that, and they find themselves deep down feeling bored by those type of motherfuckers. So that's number one, gonna leave them kind of confused, like, okay, my mother and father said I should like these gentleman guys, but they're not really doing anything for me. Then a brother like C Boogie come along, a little more, got an edge to him, a little more raw, talking shit to him. They're gonna also be confused because they're gonna be like, well, C Boogie ain't really being a gentleman, but damn, I feel my pussy tingle. So I'm confused on that shit. Because this goes against what my mother and father told me. He ain't the type of guy that's exhibiting behavior my mother and father said he should, but yet he making my pussy tingle. So one of the ways they try to play that off is by lashing out at you. They'll say, oh, what's wrong with you? Why don't you have any class? You know, how come you're not more polite? What's wrong? You don't have any home training? But in their mind, what they really saying is, damn, how are you able to get my pussy to tingle when you're not exhibiting the behavior that you're supposed to be exhibiting? So that kind of fucks them up, man. And that's why I use this phrase with guys. I say sometimes it takes a woman a while to process your mode 1 style. Like, for example, I've had women say I met on, I'll say on Monday, they'll go off on me and shit. But then by that Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, they'll be more than ready to give me some pussy. And I'll basically say, after I fuck them, I ask them, I say, you know, how come you went off on me on Monday, but now on Saturday, you was all ready to open them legs for me? And they'll say something to the fact that, well, you was exhibiting behavior that I wasn't accustomed to. It wasn't the behavior that my mother told me that I should be receptive to. But I'm not gonna lie, your behavior got my pussy wet. So, you know, I had to own up to that you got my pussy wet, and that's why I called you on Friday night and said, yeah, I want to come over. But when you first came at me the way you did, it threw me off because I'm not used to a man talking to me so boldly and straightforwardly and so sexually, because that's not how a man is supposed to act in society.
like, you know what, man? That's real funny, Alan. You know, because I got at least 3 females, you know, that I've met over my lifetime that have literally told me they don't care if they ever got married. They'll never stop fucking me. And that was because maybe I didn't have the hypnotizing piece that you have, but I was literally just treating them the way the other guys wasn't. And these was beautiful women. Like these was nice looking, middle class, educated females. These wasn't no hood rats and nah, man. But the way I treated these women, I could definitely say it was against the grain, man. You know, talking to them any kind of way, you know, and then, you know, when it came to sex and choking them out and all kind of wild, just kinky shit, you know, and they would always tell me like the stuff that I do to other guys, I wouldn't dare try that shit with you. And you know what, man? I ain't gonna lie. Hey, man, that shit made me feel good, man.
Now you know what's gonna happen by this confession you just made. I'm gonna tell you. Number one, you know, I'm sure most of your regular people follow you. They love you to death, man. But you just admit that you gonna invite some players to come your way because you said that there's some women who either are married or said when they get married they still gonna fuck you, man. See, I think you know, man. There's a lot of brothers out here, man. They don't want to hear that shit because now they're gonna look at you as a threat to fuck their wife, to fuck their fiance, to fuck their girlfriend. But you're right on point, man. I've talked about a lot of these stories. Like when I tell my stories of when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was a lot of women's other man. And I always talk about how those women, like the married women I fuck, man, I would talk to them and treat them in a way that was 180 degrees different from how they allowed their husband to treat them. Like a lot of these women, I would say shit like, bitch, come over here and suck my dick and lick my balls and shit. Let me slap my dick on your face. And they would say, yes, sir. And then they would tell me, they say, you know, I got to tell you, daddy, I never let my husband talk to me like that. Like some women would tell me, they say, I don't even suck my husband's dick. I'd be like, you lying. They'd be like, seriously, I don't suck my husband's dick, like ever. And one of the things I tell guys along those lines, I said a lot of women, particularly women who cheat, they don't want two of the same lover. They usually want their boyfriend, fiance, husband to be the romantic lover, the emotionally empathetic lover that's going to be gentle, put rose petals on the bed, fix a warm bubble bath for him. But then whoever is a side dude, they want that nigga to be a straight up nigga, man, like a straight up dominant alpha male, no mercy type motherfucker who gonna pull their hair, even slap them on their face and be like, bitch, who pussy is this? Your pussy, you pussy, you pussy. Yeah, tell me again. You pussy, that's what they want from the side dude. That's why you the side dude. They want it because they want the freedom to unleash that side. They don't want to unleash that side to their boyfriend, fiance, husband because they feel like he might lose respect for them and he might, you know, leave him. And they want that guy's non-sexual companionship. And if he got bread, they want that access to that guy's financial resources. So they want to keep that relationship going, but they ain't gonna show him that same sexual side that they showing you. And that's you know, that's why I gained, man, a lot of my knowledge and wisdom and insight from women, man. I posted this on Twitter a few years ago. I said, a lot of what I learned about women came from being women's side dude, man. Because when you're the side dude, and this is why a lot of guys who read my book, The Possibility of Sex, that's probably the first book I really kind of openly confessed that I've been a lot of women's side dude. A lot of guys who read that book said it left them depressed, man. And I understood what they were saying by that. It was like, Alan, I enjoyed the book, man, but it kind of left me depressed. And what they were saying was that they didn't realize that a woman could, for lack of a better way of putting it, put on an acting performance for a number of years and even decades. But that's what a lot of women, the ones who cheat, that's essentially what they do. They put on an acting performance for their boyfriends, their fiancés, their husband. They essentially portray themselves as the good girl or some variation of the good girl. But with the side dude, there's no motivation for them to be phony with you. There's no motivation for them to put on any facade. They're going to let you see them in the raw. And here's the kind of fucked up thing for you or guys like us who have been a side dude, or been in a position to be a side dude. If there's at least one negative, it makes you kind of, I never want to come across like I'm anti-marriage or even anti-relationship. But you kind of look at women different, man. You kind of like, you're like, damn, women are some scandalous ass bitch. Like my most notorious story I've told on my channel, man, I had one bitch, man. Here's one thing a lot of women do. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. Some women who cheating with you, they will actually introduce you to their man. I've had that happen quite a few times. Like they'll bring me over to their crib. They'll be like, sometimes they'll make up something. Like they'll say, this is my friend Alan. We went to college together. And the dude be like, hey, what's up, Alan, man? Hey, it's good to meet you. And, but yeah, I had this one chick, man. She had me over her crib with her husband. And her husband, she said, was the chef between the two of them. So he did most of the cooking. So he was upstairs cooking dinner. And she said, honey, I'm going to take Alan to our basement. I want to show him some of the stuff in the basement. And he said, okay, yeah. Man, within a couple minutes after we got in our basement, man, she just started jumping my bones, basically. She started unzipping my pants. And I was the one trying to be respectful. I said, what you doing? She said, what do you mean, what am I doing? She said, I need your dick in my mouth. I said, your husband is upstairs. Literally, man, she was like, I don't give a fuck. I mean, she had no hesitation. She was basically like, I don't give a fuck. And so she ended up taking my dick out of my pants, man. She sucked my dick like she owed me money. I ain't gonna lie to you, Boogie, man. I was enjoying her sucking my dick, but I was feeling guilty like a motherfucker. I'm like, damn. And at that moment, that's when you can't judge all women on the behavior of a handful of women, but man, I was just like, damn, man, women are scandalous. One other quick story along the same lines, man. I remember one time I had a bitch over my crib. She was sucking my dick, and her cell phone rang, and it was her boyfriend. And she was like, I could tell, he was like, where you at? She said, I'm in the mall with Janice, one of her girlfriends. And he was perceptive because it was real quiet. And I think he said, like, well, damn, if you're in the mall, how come it sound so quiet? She said, oh, I'm in this little, like, small boutique store, women's boutique. And then it's like me, Janice, and maybe one or two other customers in here. And he went ahead and bought that. And anyway, at the end of the conversation, as she was wrapping up, you know, he said, baby, I love you. And she said, I love you too. I love you so much. And man, I was just looking at her when she got out the phone. I just had this look like you scandalous ass bitch. And she said, why are you looking at me like that? I said, why you tell this nigga you love him? She said with sincerity, she said, I do love him. And she was totally, she said, I do love him.
Ooh, that's funny.
I said, you love your man. She said, I love him to death. She said, I love him to death. I said, but yet my dick been in your mouth. And it's about to go right back in your mouth, and I'm going to come in your mouth, and you're going to swallow my cum. But yeah, you're going to tell me, she said, I don't remember exact words, but she was like, you're conflating two issues. You're conflating my sexual attraction to you with my love for my man. Her attitude was, those are two separate issues. She's like, I love my man, but that don't mean I don't have a strong desire to suck your dick.
Yeah, quick question from the chat, man. A Nell and AM1, they said, what's up, OG Allen? But they said, if all guys were Mode 1, what would that do to the world?
Ooh, that's a powerful question right there. Hey, what's up, AM1? Yeah, AM1, cool brother, man. He's on the chat with you on O'Shea's channel. And what's up to all the fellas in the chat? I appreciate y'all listening. It's a few ways, man, that I think society would change if society gave the green light for everybody to be Mode 1. Well, no, what the good, I'll start with the good. If nothing else, man, the women who again are the archetype of the manipulative time wasters, they would be eliminated pretty much overnight. Women couldn't run manipulative time waster game if all guys were Mode 1. They just couldn't do it. It's literally virtually impossible. And I've had women themselves say that, so I know it's the truth. Women, if a woman's a manipulative time waster, she can't do shit if a man's Mode 1. So that's the number one good thing. guys, basically it would come down to, without getting too lengthy, guys would either be getting the pussy quicker and easier than they ever have in their life, or on the flip side, for the women who would be rejecting them, they would be rejected without them investing any significant amount of time or money, which leads to some of the bad things. A lot of our economy, man, you could say in a matter of speaking, depends on naive, delusional, romantic beta males.
Say that one more time. One more time, Alan.
Our economy, man, for it to function properly, heavily depends on a high number of naive, delusional, romantic-oriented beta males. That's why the media, among other industries, why the media and entertainment industry is going to always promote that. In movies, the male characters in movies, the male characters in TV shows, they want to promote that because they know, man, that's what keeps the economy going. There's motherfuckers who earn their living by perpetuating that whole, I need to find the love of my life and, and that type of thing, man. If all guys were to become a combination of red pill aware and Mo One, man, all these guys would be, who were, figuratively speaking, asleep, would wake up and be like, what the fuck have I been doing? I've already had a lot of guys like that. Like, what the fuck have I? Like, I've had so many guys write me. They say, Alan, man, I wish I had your book 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I wouldn't have done 90% of the shit I did, stupid shit I did with women, man. Because guys will realize, man, you can't earn no brownie points to get in the pussy, man. Women know pretty much by the end of their first conversation with you if they want to give you some pussy or not, man. They know that shit. But they know it would be foolish for them to tell you too quickly on both ends. Here's the thing with women. They know on one end, if they're talking to a guy that they are interested in having sex with, they know not to tell them too quickly, too straightforwardly. Because then C Boogie ain't going to take them out to that nice French restaurant they want to go to. Or take them out to that concert they want to see for free. So they want to make C Boogie think he got to do those things to earn the pussy, when he really didn't. And for the guys who they not interested in, they even more so don't want to tell those guys quickly and straightforwardly, because for the same reasons. They ain't going to be able to play those good. Matter of fact, I was in Los Angeles just under a month ago, and I had a lot of conversations with some women while I was there, probably about roughly 15 women. And here's what was interesting. The women most of the women I talked to, they both simultaneously endorsed Mo One, but they was against Mo One. Here's what just about all of them said. They wanted a guy to be Mo One. They said if they were talking to a guy who they were attracted to, number one, in general, and even more specifically attracted to for casual sex, that's when they said they wanted a guy to be Mo One. They said, yeah, we want guys to be Mo One. But when it came to either guys they weren't interested in at all, or more so interested in a long-term relationship that was going to potentially lead to marriage, that's when they were just opposite. They were like, nah, I don't know if I want a guy to be Mo One. They was like, I would rather guy be Mo Two. Because with the guys they're not interested, they didn't want to come outside. I had to press a lot of women to get them to really admit it. But in so many words, it was basically like, if we were to quickly and straightforwardly reject all the guys we aren't interested in, who the fuck would take us on all these lunch dates and dinner dates and buy us all this jewelry and do all these nice things for us? So yeah, man, you can almost say, to be a little melodramatic, man, the economy might crash, man.
That's a fact.
Like,
no, that's a fact.
Obsidian, matter of fact, just had a story that I didn't know about. I heard him say, he said, what is it called? David's Bridal or something? Filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Engagement ring shops, man, a lot of them would go out of business. Certain restaurants either would go out of business or at minimum lose business. Because I'm telling you, man, if motherfuckers really knew what was up, man, they would be like, man, I ain't taking none of these bitches out to no dinners no more. I ain't buying them no more clothes. I ain't buying them no more jewelry. I ain't doing none of that shit. And if all these guys who are currently married to cheating ass women knew what was up with their wives, man, the level of divorces would go up even higher than they already are, man. But
see, I got a
go ahead.
quick question for you, Alan. So where I'm at in my red pill journey, I don't even fuck a chick unless pretty much I have red pilled her. Like, let me explain. Certain chicks, it's a certain level of respect that I know women have for certain men. So when females say something like, well, I don't really suck dick or I don't swallow, translation, she just not gonna suck my dick or swallow my nut. But I know it's a man that she'll do it for. I know this for a fact. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that with no. I mean, there is always a man this bitch will do it for. It just might not be me. So look, most chicks that if I choose to deal with a female, I have already red pilled her, which means she knows my personality. She know how I'm gonna talk to her. She already know the level of respect that I require. X, Y, and Z. And that's just how I've been rolling. And because I told you I got mode 1 tendencies, my mode 1 tendencies come out a lot faster now. Maybe the first conversation, I'm like, boom, like, look, I'm not interested in being friends. Matter of fact, I don't have female friends. Like, I don't believe in that shit. Like, I got little one-liners that I keep in my back pocket, like boom, 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 boom. And then look, if she ain't down, then we keep it moving. But that's just pretty much where I'm at, man. And I had a question, man, but you really got me hypnotized, man. Hey, for real, man. I got a question, man. Oh yeah. It was about a relationship piece. Now, like everything that I just told you, as far as how I get down. Now, is that just good for more casual sex, or can I hold a healthy relationship with a female that I just, pretty much treat like my smut? But I know she's somebody's lady, or maybe one day she'll be somebody's wife. But for some reason, she just let me do whatever,
Well, yeah. I mean, number one, that's a good question. See, it's a very good question, and is sometimes challenging to answer because women are such, man, they're such complex creatures. And without getting too lengthy, here's the deal, man. I'll say, give you a simple scenario. You might meet a woman, say, named Michelle. And let's say you deal with Michelle for 3 months in a casual way. And you basically, as I was talking about earlier, you're appealing to her slut side. And you pulling her hair and being rough with her in bed and talking to her like she your personal slut and shit. And that has her pussy dripping wet. Now let's say at roughly the 3-month mark, you like, damn, I really like Michelle. And I think I want her to be my boo. So you propose the idea of getting into a relationship with. Once you get into a relationship with it, it's almost like you're gonna have to walk this fine line, because if you start being too much, modify your behavior and start being too much of the emotionally clingy, super romantic, baby, I can't lose you, whatever, I can't lose you. Her warm and fuzzy side is going to love that side of you. Her romantic side is going to love that side of you. But that slut side that she has also, that you initially appeal to her, is going to slowly but surely begin to fade out. Because she's going to be like, oh, see, Boogie, he ain't that hardcore, merciless nigga that I thought he was. That's going to say, bitch, come over here and suck my dick right now. Now he's saying, baby, can you please, perform oral sex on me and shit. And because of that, I ain't really feeling him in the same way no more. So, you know, when I work with clients who have those type of situations, man, I tell them, man, I say, you don't want to be mean-spirited with your woman, but you do want to be hard-line, because some guys don't know the distinction between that. Like, I get a simple example. I was working with a client. He's in a relationship. And I said, mean-spirited is if your woman is watching TV and you just come in the room and just take a glass of milk and just pour it on her face for no reason. That's just a mean-spirited move right there. But a hard line would be like, if you love to watch Monday Night Football and you've told your woman you love to watch Monday Night Football, and she comes in the room and changes the channel, and you be like, bitch, you better turn that back to fucking Monday Night Football. That ain't you being mean spirit. That's you being hard line. That's you establishing boundaries that just you do not allow to be violated. So you be like, yo, bitch, turn that shit back. You better turn that shit back in 3, 2, 1. And see, it's funny because this client I was telling this to.
You're a funny motherfucker. My bad. Go ahead, my bad.
No, man, it's real, man, because this client I was talking to, man, initially it was funny. He was real resistant to it because, you know, he kind of had that softness. I ain't call him soft, but he really was in his girl. He was like, Alan, man, a lot of stuff you telling me, I feel like you basically telling me to be an asshole with my girl. And I said, I'm not so much specifically telling you to be an asshole per se, but anytime you hardline, I gave him the analogy of a child and their parents. I say, if you're the parent of a son or daughter, and you tell your son or daughter to go to bed, that they need to be in bed by 10 o'clock, and say they initially obey that, but then after a while they start saying, no, Dad, I want to stay up and watch TV. And they just start blatantly defy you. If you allow them to defy you, at some point your son or daughter gonna lose respect for you. They're gonna be like, oh, his words don't mean shit. He said I need to be in bed by 10 o'clock, but I ain't experiencing no consequences of not being in bed at 10 o'clock. Whereas I said, if the first time they go past 10 o'clock, you give them a stern warning, and then they do it again, you whoop that ass, you think they're gonna defy you again? They're gonna be like, no, Dad is serious. His words have credibility. And I said, you got to be the same way with women, man. I said, you can't because women are going to always, it's in their nature. And Iceberg Slim, years before me, broke this down in his book. Women, it's in their nature to test motherfuckers to see what they can get away with. Yeah. To see if they can cross your boundaries with no consequence. Once a woman knows she can cross your boundaries that you've laid out with no consequence, they lost respect for you. They're going to lose respect for you.
Bingo. And I just posted a video that I did in my chat room maybe a couple of weeks ago. I did a video called Respect Over Sex. And I talked about in this video, Alan, a lot of guys don't know when they're getting pity pussy. And you got to know the difference. And this is something that I've learned over the years.
Wait, Steve, you got to say that. I know most of you probably watch this video, but you got to say that again, man. You gotta say that again.
Yo, a lot of brothers don't know that they're getting pity pussy from a female. And the reason I was able to come up with this is because I really know how freaky and nasty the majority of these women are. So look, if a female isn't doing certain things to you, if you're not bringing out a certain side of her, I'm talking about, I mean, I want to keep my video up, so I'm gonna keep it clean, right?
I know what you're saying.
But I've had some women do some just debaucherous shit in front of me, right? So look, that's all I'm saying. So look, if this female was acting like she don't suck dick or swat, or you can't come on her titties or titty fuck or whatever, basically what I'm saying is, Negro, you're probably getting pity pussy. And to me, that I would rather sit up and make YouTube videos. That's useless to me. Because I know good pussy comes with gifts, man.
Dude, you ain't never spoke more real than just now, man. I did a Patreon exclusive that was probably similar to, you said, the video you just did. I called it, I said, I did a video for my Patreon subscribers called sometimes it's better to have no pussy at all than what I call obedient puppy doggy reward pussy. And that's my version of pity, what you call pity pussy. And I basically told guys, because a lot of guys will try to come at me and say, well, and, you know, when we talk about certain things, they say, I don't know, sometimes Alan, it seems like you willing to sacrifice certain pussy, or you willing to, you know, let this opportunity for pussy go, man. Shoot, all pussy is better than no pussy. I said, if you want to believe that, go ahead and believe that. But I'm here to tell you, man, not all pussy is equal. And without getting too long-winded, what I basically said is essentially what you've already said. I tell guys, man, there's genuine lust type pussy that women want to make sure they satisfy your fucking ass in bed. But then there's the type of pussy that if a woman say is in a relationship with a guy who pays all her bills, and along with that spends a lot of time with her non-sexually, and say she's not really attracted to that motherfucker, but she knows that if she completely denies him pussy, of course, you know, he's gonna end the relationship or file for a divorce. So what those women do is they get those guys what you would call pity pussy and I call doggy reward pussy. They give them just enough pussy to keep them motivated. Those guys motivated to keep paying their bills, to keep providing them with the non-sexual attention. But that ain't genuine lust pussy, man. Them motherfuckers 9 times out of 10, they ain't gonna get their dick sucked. They ain't gonna get their balls licked. If they try to pull that woman's hair, she gonna slap the shit out that motherfucker. She gonna be like, don't ever touch my hair again, motherfucker. Don't ever touch my hair again.
Yeah,
and that motherfucker gonna be apologizing and shit.
But yeah, man, you know, like it really comes with gifts, man. And look, that, you know, like when I was young, man, I accepted all kind of pity pussy. But once I figured out, man, like, look, this shit gets better. Like the more I draw my line in the sand, I'm telling you, man, like the more gifts, you know, like you finish having sex, she come in with the hot towel, rub you down, wipe you down, make sure your nuts is clean. I mean, you know, women, but she has to respect you. That's why I did the video, respect over sex. And I thought about that for a while, Alan, and I was like, you know what, man? Fuck the sex. I want the respect first, man. Because I know what the respect comes with, man. It comes with gifts. Woo, them gifts keep on giving.
Dude, you know, but, you see right now, you preach it, man. Because, man, a lot of motherfuckers will not understand this, or they're going to be slow to understand this, man. But this is one of the things I try to get across to guys, man. Ain't nothing more important, man. Like, he'll be an example of, I can name at least a handful of examples. Like, there's this guy, matter of fact, he wrote me the other day. There's a guy who lives in LA, his name is Kente, and he has this audio, at least he used to. He had this audio podcast on Spreaker. I don't know if you're familiar with the platform called Spreaker. Yeah. And he had this long-running show called Mars and Venus. And it was a pretty good audio podcast show. So one time, I called into a show just kind of spontaneously because I saw he was doing a show to do with BDSM and stuff. And, you know, I've been deep into that lifestyle. So I called in, and anyway, make a long story short, he started asking me questions about my experience dealing with women, particularly, you know, as a BDSM dominant. And one of the things I mentioned, I said, no, I think he asked, no, he had a woman. The woman was a co-host, and she was pretty perceptive. She said, matter of fact, I don't know if you checked out a video I did. I did a response video to Mac City Limits. And you familiar with Mac City?
Yeah.
Big Mike from Mac City, he said something that was funny to me. He asked a question that I ended up saying on my video, no comment. But he because he know what's up. He said, Alan, I heard you a BDSM dominant who trains women to be more erotically uninhibited and more submissive to their boyfriends, fiancés, and husbands. He said, that's bullshit, Alan. You know that's bullshit, because he said, if you the motherfucker training them, they gonna always look at you as the alpha. They ain't gonna really look at their boyfriend, fiancé, or husband as the alpha. They gonna always look at you as the motherfucker who trained them. So they gonna always have more deference for you, more respect for you than they will their own husband. He said, Alan, I want you to address that in my video. I just let her said, I said, no comment. But along the lines of what you're talking about, going back to this interview with Kente, I was telling him, his woman first asked me, the female, she said, Alan, how many BDSM subs do you have? What'd you say? I said, oh, I got hundreds. I said, now the interesting thing is, I said, not all of them am I fucking. I said, there's a percentage of them I'm fucking. But I said, there's some I'm not fucking. And Kente didn't get that. And he said, well, that don't really make sense to me. If you're not fucking them, how could you be dominating them? But his female co-host, she knew what was up. She said, no, I know what Alan's saying. Even though he ain't never been inside those women's bodies, he got their head. He got their head and he got their respect. And she said, Alan, I bet a lot of these BDSM subs, I bet a percentage of them married, and I bet they call you, even though they married, and call you sir and daddy. And I just started chuckling. And I kind of said, well, I don't know if I want to say that publicly and shit because the haters will come out. She said, no, be real, be real. I said, yeah. I said, I got women right now that even though they're married and got a husband, they will call me for either advice or guidance with their relationship. They always call me sir or daddy. And I'll end up telling, like I was talking about how some women don't even want to suck their husband's dick. Like I've had BDSM subs call me and say, Daddy, I'm not really attracted to my husband to the point where I want to suck his dick. I just don't respect him like that. And I'll be like, bitch, go ahead and suck his dick. They'll be like, really, Daddy? I'll be like, suck your husband's dick. Go ahead and suck that motherfucker's dick and make him happy. They'll be like, do I have to, Daddy? I'll be like, go ahead and make that motherfucker's dick. They'll be like, okay, Daddy, yes, Daddy, okay, I'll do it, but I ain't gonna do it all the time, but I'll do it, at least once a month. I say, yeah, make your husband happy and shit. And so
that's funny.
That comes from the respect you're talking about, man. When you get, to me, that's more important than the pussy, man, is when you got, like, there's some women I can pick up the phone literally right now. I can say, yo, bitch, deposit $250 in my PayPal account by the end of the night. And they'll be like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Daddy. I'll do that. That comes from having that respect, man. If you motherfucker ain't got no respect.
Yo, if a female respect you, I mean, that broad will hustle up some money to make sure you straight. I mean, so look, I know the extent that females will go for certain guys. And look, in order for me to fuck with her, I have to be that certain guy. Because I know if anything else, Alan, I'm more than likely going to be getting pity pussy. Or she might like me a little bit. Nah, no. And this stuff that I'm talking about, man, I've learned this way before I found the manosphere. I just always had it in the back of my head, like, yo, man, these females are fucking nasty. Like, seriously. Like, that's what I used to talk my homeboy. Like, y'all got a couple of my homeboys from when I was young and in my army days. They was in my chat room, like, they laughing at me because they like, yo, how you think I got the name C Boogie? But we used to watch these chicks get so nasty, and we would scratch our heads like. And what's interesting, Alan, when I brought up the player hater point about that you got a chip on your shoulder because you got a lot of player haters. Now, this is where I kind of picked that up, is because a lot of guys, it's easier to come at Alan with the gun, but it's really the female nature they should be mad at. And I picked that up when I finally talked to you one-on-one. And I was like, yo, man, Alan the wild motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, like, I was doing the impression, because motherfuckers know, like, I'm a real funny dude and shit. But I'm like, you know what? After I talked to Alan, I get it. Like, you know how you kind of have an epiphany?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was like, yo, once the conversation was over, I was like, you know what, man? Whatever energy Alan had, it transferred to me. Now I get a better understanding of why he's so defensive sometimes, or why he really got to go in, because Alan been dealing with this shit for years, man. And it's easy to come at you, but really, we got to check these bitches, man. I mean, it's that simple.
That's where that phrase, everybody's heard the adage, don't hate the player, hate the game. that's related to that saying is because like I got into a heated thing on one of my YouTube videos either early this year or late last year about, matter of fact, I want to say I was doing a video on player haters, and that's the main point I made. I said, a lot of you motherfuckers, man, when you find out, say, I fucked your wife or fucked your fiance or fucked your girlfriend, y'all in the comment section talking about y'all want to shoot me and y'all want to whip my ass, but y'all ain't said nothing about your bitch. How come you ain't examining your bitch? How come you ain't looking at your bitch crazy like, why was you in the basement sucking this nigga's dick? Why you married to me? How come you was stepping out with Alan Roger Curry when I done spent all this money buying this house and putting this big ass ring on your finger? Why you fucking this motherfucker that ain't spent $5 on your ass? Why ain't you examining your bitch? I ain't never hated no motherfucker, man, because he was getting a lot of pussy, man. If I'm in a situation, I can't say I've been. I ain't gonna say I ain't never been cheated on, but if I have, the woman did a good job of keeping it from me. But let's say I was in a situation where a motherfucker, you know, I found out she smashed my chick. I ain't gonna be looking at that motherfucker crazy unless if he raped or a date raper, that's a different story. Then he gonna have to experience retribution. That's a different animal. But if my bitch freely gave this motherfucker some pussy, I ain't got no beef with that motherfucker. I'm probably gonna give him props for his seduction skills. I'm gonna be looking at my woman like, what magic words is this motherfucker to say? But I'm already knowing all the shit I know, I'm already know what's up. I'm already know that she looked at me as that, again, that romantic, gentle, emotionally empathetic motherfucker. But that motherfucker came in with some game that was more raw than me, more dominant than me. And that appealed to her, got her pussy wet, man. I would venture to say it's in women's DNA. It ain't even just like an intellectual choice. It's in women's DNA to respond to a man's erotic dominance, man. That's just like in their makeup, man. They just gonna respond to a motherfucker. Here's the biggest thing that, other than dominance, that women respond to. You watch a lot of my videos where I'm always talking about the biggest thing you could have is to have options. When women know that you can just dismiss them like that, that makes them want you even more. If you come at them with, oh, please, baby, whatever you do, please don't leave me. You know, I love you so much, please don't leave me. That's like saying to them, I ain't got no other options for quality sexual companionship other than you. You done told a woman she the center of your world, and all you gonna get, if she decides to stay, well, all you gonna get is that pity pussy. You ain't gonna get not the genuine lustful pussy. That's why women love the proverbial bad boy. Because bad boys generally tend to have attitude. Once a bitch crossed, again, those boundaries, most bad boys are like, bitch, okay, I told you, I gave you a warning the first time. Get the fuck out my house. And they'd be like, you serious? Bitch, get the fuck out my house. Matter of fact, give me your sister's number, because I'm about to fuck your sister. Because I saw her googling eyes at me. I'm going to fuck your sister.
That's real, like, man. I've left a chick in a whole other state before. Like I said that earlier, but the disrespect was too blatant. I mean, like, we was only a couple hours out, went down to the casino, but the disrespect was too blatant, man. And and look, all of this stuff we talking about, Alan, man, I had to learn this the hard way, man. I had to learn you got to have some actions behind those words, man, because if you don't, it's hot air, man. And but back to the player hating piece, though, Alan. So yeah, man. And like when we did the first interview, I was like, okay, now I get a better understanding of the ARC, and I was like, you know what, because I had this perception of you and shit, and so like I gotta admit that I was wrong. I was like, nah, it ain't Alan. Now I get it, because you know what? Because sometimes, man, when I be trying to really separate YouTube from real life, man, like when I be out in my real life, Alan, I be praying to bump into red pill guys. Can't find them. I'm like, I be like, what the fuck is going on? I see 400 people in this chat room. He got 1,000. He got 600. He got 2,000. I'm like, yo, where are guys at, man? I be hoping I just bump into somebody like, oh, you red pill. It barely happens. So, sometimes I'd be like, man, are guys for real about this? Or is this some kind of fucking cult motherfuckers, this raging cult niggas is in?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Is that the internet, and more specifically YouTube, kind of does give you the somewhat misleading impression that the vast majority of men in society either are already red pill aware or on the verge of being, when the reality is quite the contrary, man. Most motherfuckers in society are blue pill, man. Because again, man, you got media and entertainment that reinforces that shit. You got, to a certain degree, organized religion that reinforces that. And, guys who grow up with only their mothers, the mothers ain't gonna drop no red pill game. My own mother, she ain't never dropped no red pill game on me. All her advice was blue pill shit, And so yeah, man, that's why I've had like a lot of clients, man. One of the dilemmas a lot of my clients have ran into, they like, hey, Alan, man, I'm having some success with Mode 1, but there's been a side effect. I say, what's that? I'm starting to lose a lot of my boys. A lot of dudes, they don't want to hang around me no more. They starting to call me crass and disrespectful and socially inappropriate. They saying I'm acting like a jerk with women by telling women straight up that I want to fuck them. And they say they don't want to hang around. And I have to tell them, I say, hey, man, number one, them dudes they ain't truly your friends. They was telling you they was your friends, but they ain't really your friends. But that's going to happen. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, man, whenever you decide to be Mode 1 as a way of life, you're going against the grain of society. And most guys don't have the strength of character and the courage to do that. Mm-hmm. They scared of being disliked. Like, I had so many guys ask me questions that center around, what are other people going to think about me? Like, hey, Alan, if I'm Mode 1, like, what are the people on my college campus going to think about me? What are people in my friendship circle going to think about me? What are the people at church, if they find out, what are they going to think about me? And I always ask, I say, man, let me ask you a real question, man. Are you going to spend the rest of your life trying to play up to other people's expectations and prevent yourself from being criticized by other people? Is that the life you want to choose for yourself? Because if it is, all I can say is good luck. But I'm telling you, as an older man, when you get older, you're going to end up becoming a grouchy motherfucker. Matter of fact, I read a thing about this. This is real. I remember a few years ago, there was this article that said they had interviewed these people in senior citizen home about some of their life's regrets now that they were in their 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s. They asked these people, and some regrets varied from person to person, but probably the number one universal regret these senior citizens had, they said, if I had to do it all over again, they said, I wouldn't give a, they didn't say the exact words, but I'm going to paraphrase what they said. They said, I wouldn't give a fuck what anybody thought. I regret that horribly, that I allowed myself to live a life that was constantly dictated by what I thought this person who lived next door might think, or this person at the church might think, or, my sister-in-law might think, and blah, 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 blah. So I tell man, you got to make a choice, man. You got to have that turning point. Your first major turning point is when you got to get to a point in your life where you say, I'm going to live the life that I fucking want to live. And whatever comes with that, good or bad, I'm willing to own up to it. But I'm going to live the life that involves the choices and decisions that I really want to make. But I'm not going to avoid this behavior, that behavior, simply because I'm scared that person over there, I'm scared that person over there going to have something negative to say. Because I've had a lot of people in my life, man. Honestly, man, me and my own brother, man, I'm probably tighter with my brother than any other male. But there was a stretch, man, me and my brother, man, like, he was always a fan of Mode 1 from the standpoint of the honesty piece. But my brother, he used to frown on the whole X-rated language thing. He was like, bro, man, like he got he got bad at me, man. He invited me to his Christmas party at this company he was working for. And I ended up seducing his district manager, man. And he was like, bro, man, I can't have you at my parties, man. You end up fucking, man, my district manager, man. I can't have that shit, bro, man. What? Like, you just forgot about me? I said, man, she was feeling me, man. So I had to put my dick in her mouth. He's like, no. And he went off on me, man. He's like, no, this is where I work, motherfucker. This is where I work, man. You can't be talking shit at a Christmas party. And I said, dude, man, that's who I am, man. I wasn't disrespectful to this bitch. This bitch was feeling me. So I told her I was gonna fuck the shit out of her and put my dick in her mouth. And she was receptive to the shit. How you gonna hold that against me? And later on, you know, he ended up apologizing, man. But at the time, man, like he went out for me, man. Almost like I want to disown you right now because I'm so pissed. So yeah, man, I've gotten a lot of people. My mother, before she died, she knew about Mo One. She was the same way. She liked the honesty piece. She didn't like the language though. She's like, yeah, I don't like the fact that you're using X-rated language. And she started naming women that I knew was freaks. It just shows how naive women are. She's like, you know, I heard Mrs. Johnson's daughters, you know, Laura, you said something to her, and she's just a sweet girl. She's just the sweetest girl. And I'm like, Mom, I want to say, Mom, you don't know, Laura's a big ass freak. You know, I fucked Laura in the ass and shit. You know, you talking about she's so sweet. Shit, that's what these women want motherfuckers to think that they all sweet and shit. Now, my father, he was cool before he passed away. His only thing, which has been true, he basically said, son, here's my concern. He said, you're an intelligent guy. You know the nuances of Mo One. He said, my fear is that some knucklehead types are going to just browse through your book. They're going to look for the bits and pieces that appeal to them, and they just going to become basically a verbal loose cannon. And he said, you don't want that to happen. He said, I think some guys, they ain't going to really absorb everything you're saying. All the subtle nuance, they just going to take, again, just bits and pieces and think they could be at a funeral and go up to someone, hey, bitch, I want to put my dick in your mouth. You know? And he was like, so.
And that's funny. But that's why I told you, man, like I'm probably more 1.5 because, you know, the first interaction, right? I'm probably more in this kind of chill, laid back mode. But I'm feeling her out. And the more she gives me signs and clues, the more Mo One I become. You understand where I'm coming from? So I try to keep it like that. But you know, but what you just said, the verbal loose cannon, nah, you know, just go up to a chick, hey, you know, you mind something like, you know, it's like, nah. But I got a question from Charles Merchant. He said, do you have a story about a male college student operating under Mo One? Minus the name, of course, as in saying, like, you don't have to say the name.
Wait, do I know of guys who were in college that are Mo One?
Yeah, it says, do you have a story about a male college student operating under Mo One?
Oh, I've got a lot of clients who are in college as we speak that are Mo One. So yeah, there's plenty of guys. Probably the most recent story, I got a client, he's on the East Coast in college, and he met this woman, and it's funny, man, and this happens with a lot of guys. I talked about this on a video. See, this is what I find, and I even used to have this problem when I was in my early 20s to a certain extent. There's a lot of guys, well, there's some guys who are just flat out scared to be Mo One, period. But there's a good number of other guys, they're selectively Mo One. What I mean is either in one or two areas mainly, either in terms of looks or in terms of socioeconomic class. For example, I had a client recently, he met this woman, he even sent me an email picture of her. She was a bad motherfucker. And he was scared to be Mo One with her simply because she was fine in a motherfucker. And there's a lot of guys like that. Like, there's a lot of guys that if they run across, say, a woman who's a 4, 5, 6, even a 7, they have no problem being Mo One. But if the woman's an 8, 9, and 10, they'd be like, ooh, no, I got to be Mo 2 with her. And I'm like, no, you don't. 8, 9, and 10, that pussy get wet just like a 4, 5, or 6. Ain't no difference. The next to look thing, and this is one of the ones I used to affect me. I think I admit that in my book. Like when I was in my early to mid 20s, I had more confidence being more one with women who were, I don't know how to say it, not just what I would say like flat out hood rat type babes, but more women who I knew had that kind of street edge to them. Whereas when I was around women who was like, say, the daughters of a doctor and a lawyer and, you know, middle class, upper middle class type women, I would allow myself to feel intimidated to a degree until I burst through that psychological hurdle and realize, shoot, a lot of them women, man, at minimum, they just as kinky, if not even kinkier, man. I done broke down some bitches, man, right now that are women who are college professors, own their own companies, got PhD behind their name, got MD, JD behind their name. Because, see, I'll give you one example. In LA, matter of fact, I've told this story, if only briefly, on my YouTube channel under the category I was talking about. I've had at least 2 or 3 women that were essentially sugar mamas for me, particularly when I lived in Los Angeles. One of my women who ended up being a sugar mama for me, she was a highly respected physician in Los Angeles County. And when I met her, man, you know, I came at a Mode 1 style and shit and got that pussy real quick and started fucking and shit. Then one summer, her younger sister came to live with her. So I called for her one day and her sister started talking. Her sister was much more real. She wasn't just straight up street, but she was more real. And she was like, so you Alan, you nasty Alan. I said, no. I said, so that means your big sis been kissing and telling. She been running her big ass mouth. She said, oh yeah, she done told me all about you. And anyway, to get to the point, here's what she said that was key. She said, I know why you just fucking my sister whenever you want to. She said, because you a real nigga. I said, okay. I said, be more specific. What is that? She said, you got to understand, my sister comes from a prestigious medical school, and I've watched men interact with her, and they all play up to her. They all treat her with the utmost of respect and deference. You know, but you didn't do that. You treat her like she was just any other woman you wanted to fuck. And my sister basically admitted that that's what appealed to her. Matter of fact, I ended up fucking her younger sister. I ended up fucking the doctor and her sister. But that's the thing that a lot of guys don't realize, man, is a lot of the so-called, because I hear a lot of guys that'll come in my comment section or say to me otherwise, they'll say, Alan, I don't think you're more want to work on classy women. They always say, I don't think you're more want to work on classy, educated, professional women. That's bullshit. It's because you think that way, it ain't gonna work. You think you gotta do something different. You gotta treat them with more respect. But the reality is, that's what ends up boring those bitches. Because they so used to motherfuckers treating them respectfully that they get bored with those motherfuckers. They want a motherfucker that got the ball to just basically say, yeah, I'm going to fuck the shit out of you. I'm going to put my dick all in your mouth.
All right, quick question, Alan. Like, the average females that you deal with, what's the educational level, class, and maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, between 0 and 10 being a dime, like looks like women that you deal with on a personal level?
I would say, in general, I preface it by saying I've kind of been all over the place at times, at different times. I can't say I've ever been exclusively one demographic, but I start with age. I've seduced women younger than me. Like last year when I was in Orlando for the 21 convention, I fucked a chick that was 22. I want to say that's the youngest I fucked to date. Because at the time I was 54. So she was 32 years younger than me. And I fucked quite a few women that are at least 10 years younger than me. And then when I was young, I used to fuck a lot of older women. When I was in my 20s, I was fucking women in their 30s and 40s. So that's one area age-wise. Looks-wise, I fucked dimes. I ain't gonna act like I fucked 100 dimes, but I probably fucked a handful of dimes. Definitely a lot of 8s and 9s. For damn sure a lot of 7s, a hell of a lot of 7s. But I probably fucked my share of 5s and 6s too. I would say most of the women I fucked in terms of socioeconomic class, yeah, have been middle class women that had at least a bachelor's degree from an accredited college or university. But I fucked a lot of women, as I already mentioned. They got PhD behind their name. They got MD behind their name. They got JD, whatever. Whoa, my phone fell off. Yeah, what else? Ethnicity wise, I think we talked about that in the last discussion. Man, I'm sorry, I got these technical difficulties. My phone fucking, this tripod I got it on fucking up. Ethnicity wise, I fucked a lot of white women, a lot of black women, a lot of Latina women. I've only fucked a handful of Asians. I think I fucked about 4 or 5 Asian women in my life. I fucked 2 Middle Eastern women in my life. Other kind of mixed breed, what I would call them, biracial mixed breed types. And what else? So I covered age, ethnicity, socioeconomic class, education. Yeah, man. And
do you catch feelings for some of these women? That was a question from the chat. Shout out to Thinking Man's Templar. What's up, bro? But yeah, we got a question from the chat. It says, does he have any women that he actually had really strong feelings for? Good question.
Yeah, well, wait, hold on. I'm still dealing with these technical difficulties. The fuck? I'm trying to bring you back up and I can't. You can still see me, right?
No, you got your avatar down, bro. I can see you now. I can see you now.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to hold this with my left hand. My tripod, excuse me, is fucking up. Yeah, I actually confess at least a couple stories on my YouTube channel. As far as that's a good question. Have I caught feeling? The most notable story I've told, I don't use her real name, but I call this woman Sharon. There's one when I lived in LA that I met. She was a hammer, man. Like the one when I most compare it to, I don't know if you're familiar with this actress. She don't really act too much no more. She's behind the scenes, but her name is Sally Richardson. She's now married to this actor who used to be on the Cosby Show named Dante Whitfield. But if you were to pull up a picture of Sally Richardson, the woman I'm talking about named Sharon, looked like she could be Sally Richardson's sister or cousin. And here's the thing with Sharon, man, and you familiar with Ron Wills?
Yeah.
I always give his book a shout out when I talk about shit related to this, because one thing he points out in his book, he got a book called Nice Guys and Players. And he basically says in his book that a lot of guys think only the nice guy types have it bad, but he said players have it bad too, in the sense that he said nice guys, their thing is they will generally have an easy time getting a woman to be their long-term girlfriend or their wife, but they'll probably have a much harder time getting a woman to be just their fuck buddy. Whereas he said the players thing a lot of times is they have easy time getting women to be their fuck buddy, but once they do get into a zone where they want a serious long-term relationship, a lot of women will resist agreeing to do that with them. And I've had that happen at least probably 3 times in my life. And again, the most notable was this chick Sharon. I met her, was mall one with her. We became fuck buddies. And it was a trip because I didn't really have no money, man. And most of the motherfuckers she had dated was big baller. Like she had dated like professional athletes, guys who own their own business, guys who was easily making 6 and 7 figures. I think at the time I was fucking around when I was making maybe 30 grand a year. But she loved my Mo One style so much, man, we got to fucking. And then after about maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 months of fucking, I told her I wanted to take things to the next level. And she like laughed at me, man, basically. You know, she was like, basically like, nah, Alan, that ain't gonna never happen. And I was like, really? Matter of fact, one woman wrote in my comment section when I was talking about the story. She said it sounded like Sharon played you like Janet Jackson played Bobby. Did you see the Bobby Brown story on BET?
Yeah. Yeah, I seen it.
I ended up watching it because this woman made this comment. Yeah, what happened was a lot of people, younger people, didn't know that Bobby Brown used to fuck Janet Jackson. But yeah, she was married at the time. Actually, she was fucking Bobby Brown. And she was content. You know, normally you think it's the guy who always is content with just things staying at a fuck buddy level. And it's the woman who wants to upgrade it to a more serious relationship. But a lot of times it's just the opposite. And yeah, Janet was cool with just Bobby being her fuck buddy. But Bobby, he wanted Janet to be like his girlfriend or even his wife. And he like at one point gets pissed because he realizes she just looks at him as fuck buddy material. And anyway, that's how this chick Sharon treated me, man. Like, she was like, Alan, you know, in so many words, she was like, I'll let you get the pussy as long as you want it, but you ain't gonna never be my serious man. She said, among other reasons, you too broke. You ain't got no money. You know, I don't date it. She said, I don't date a motherfucker that make less than six figures. She said, you wouldn't have no chance to be my man. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I openly confess, I was heartbroken, man. I mean, I allowed myself to catch feelings for this chick. And sure enough, I also confessed what I was talking about earlier. Remember when you asked me that real good question? And I said, you got to walk a fine line once you try to turn a fuck buddy relationship into a relationship. Because then your beta side's going to start to come out.
Yeah.
I kind of, you say more or less, I started allowing my beta side to come out. Then she started looking at me different. And that's one of the things that caused us to stop fucking. Once she realized I was really into it like that, like I wanted to be the romantic guy, as opposed to the guy that was just going, you know, fuck the shit out of her, slap her ass, pull her hair type motherfucker. That's when she ended up saying, okay, let's be friends. She was the one was key to her. She was actually the one, I have a nickname that more of my female fans know, the king of verbal seduction. She was the one who gave me that nickname, her and her two girlfriends, because they used to use me as kind of like I don't know what the right word is, a guinea pig. They would actually invite me to parties and social events just to challenge me to be Mo One. Like they would be like, okay, see that woman over there? I bet you can't be Mo One with her and be successful. Or see that woman over there? I bet you can't be Mo One. And then I would be Mo One. And sometimes I would get rejected, but a lot of times I would end up pulling on women and they'd be like, damn, you really are the king. You the king. You the king of that verbal seduction shit. And but yeah, there was another woman in Indianapolis. Same thing, man. I met this woman in Indianapolis when I first left LA and came back to the Midwest. We hooked up. Almost same scenario. I started fucking her. We was fuck buddies. She was really together, man. She was intelligent. She had her own career. She was like some type of business consultant for major corporations. She had a fly-ass house, man. Beautiful house. Anyway, after about a couple months of fucking, you know, I start catching feelings and shit. And sure enough, she did the same thing, man. She slowly but sure, she lost interest in me, man. Once she says that I was catching feelings, she said, Alan, she said, I hate to hurt your feelings, but for me, you just dick. I just look at you just like dick. When I'm horny and I want some dick, I call you. But now that I see you catching, you know, you really want something emotional, she's like, I'm gonna have to let you go because, you know, that ain't the role I need you for. I need you just for that can call dick.
And you know what? That's crazy, man. So like I'm about to ask you a serious question, man. Like, do you think in your brain, Alan, you got like a little bit of like I don't give a fuckness up in here, like it's sprinkled around in your shit? Cause your stories are bugged out. I thought I had bugged out stories, but your shit is bugged the fuck out. I'm like, yo, this nigga it's like for real. I'm like, he's bugged out. Like, do you think you got a serious I don't give a fuck complex? I mean, but that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, I do. No doubt. Now here's where, even more than just say simply having an I don't give a fuck attitude, I think where it's more challenging for me and what people have picked up from watching some of my videos, particularly some of my recent videos, is, you know, particularly the women who watch my video, they'll be asking me, Alan, it sounds like you don't even want to entertain the thought of being married or even being in a serious relationship with a chick. And I never want to come across, because, you know, my brother's married, he enjoys, I got friends who are married, so I never, number one, want to come across like I'm anti-marriage or anti-relationship. But because of all the shit I've experienced, man, and just seeing women's true nature in the raw, I guess without being lengthy, man, I kind of look now at the role of being a woman's husband, fiance, or boyfriend as the beta male role. You know, and that might not be 100% valid. I might be being unfairly harsh in that respect, but that's kind of how I look at it, man. I look at that as the beta male role. I don't look at that as the alpha role. The only time I look at a marriage or a serious relationship as being an alpha role is if you got a situation where a guy has a wife and he got what's known as concubines, basically additional lovers to his wife, some type of scenario like that. I respect that type of shit. But as far as a strictly monogamous marriage or strictly monogamous relationship, I don't really respect that, man, because of the shit that I've experienced myself and witnessed. I mean, because I've had women, man, that I've seen other motherfuckers that were deeply in love with, man, just give me the pussy like almost at the drop of a dime, man. And on a personal level, it was good for me, but it kind of fucked me up, man. Like, damn. So you telling me I could meet a woman and be deeply in love with her, she could just give another motherfucker a pussy like that? Mm-hmm. So it makes you kind of jaded, I guess I want to say. It's made me kind of jaded, man. You know, like you the way you were describing, you said when you see women in their full nastiness and debauchery, man, it's like,
yeah, like that really fucked me up over the years, Alan. You know, like really, really seeing how nasty these women get. And I had to really put it in perspective and be like, look, man, I will never believe a female, because when you translate it, Alan, all it means is she just won't do it for me. It's that simple. I mean, a bitch, right? I sound like Max City Limits and shit the way I'm talking. But a female, but a female is nothing. I mean, I'm serious, Alan, and you know this, and I have experienced this shit. It's nothing she won't do to make you fucking happy if she respect you. I mean, I'm dead. I mean, I don't think guys are going to grasp this in one fucking this podcast. It's too much. I've had experienced this shit, Alan, and I yeah, I want to keep this clean, but like I was saying, man, you know, yo, this is why I don't do live podcasts, because I be bugging out, man. Like, that's my brand, though. I'm just the guy next door, but I have seen some wild shit, though. That's basically what I'm trying to get to. And look, you know, yeah, when I was red pill raging and shit, it was fuck the bitch, I'm gonna kill this bitch, whatever the case. But it's like now I really had to take a step back, and I got a peace about me. You know, I'm really at peace with it, and I figured out how I can make this work for me. You know, that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, we can be. Look, man, it's these they are who they are, Alan. Well, they are who they are.
This relates to the last time we talked. You basically said, in so many words, you said, Alan, I respect you individually as a dating coach because I feel like you're very authentic. But you said as a general profession, you said, I ain't really feeling most dating coaches. And you went on to say, you said, I think a lot of men just got to learn shit by trial and error.
Yeah.
Now, there's validity to what you said. Here's the deal. Here's the good and bad you can say of what I do as a dating coach. What I'm trying to do, at least in two respects, is one, take all of my years of trial and error and compress it for guys so that they don't have to spend 10, 15, 20, 25 years with trial and error. The second thing I'm trying to do is you mentioned, guys, because with a lot of guys, once the number one thing that usually follows red pill awareness stage is red pill rage. Because you feel, if nothing else, you feel bitterness like, why is my family or why has society led me to believe that women are worthy of being put on these innocent, wholesome, good girl pedestals, when in actuality, these ain't some nasty, debaucherous bitches. So you get, a lot of guys get angry over that shit. And I'm trying to prevent guys from reaching that stage because in the most extreme level, and this relates to obviously some beef me and Obsidian had, in the most extreme level, a lot of guys go to Elliot Rodger route, man. They can't contain that red pill rage. They want to take some bitches out because of that shit. They literally reach a point where they're like, I want to take some bitches out.
Let me piggyback on that point real quick. Really quick. Now, I worked in a prison before, and you know how that go. The moment these dudes get locked up, the moment, first thing this Negro got to do is get that phone because he want to check on his bitch, right? And I've seen some guys fucking lose their fucking mind. Seriously, because they know, hey, I gotta go sit down for 3 to 5 years, whatever the case may be. I gotta go, do a year. They know. So there is some validity to that, man. Maybe not Elliot Rodger status, but I have seen this, man. When I was in the military, a lot of guys committed suicide overseas. This is a lot of guys came home. Look at the numbers. Soldiers that was arrested for domestic violence. A lot of guys was coming back putting guns to these females' heads. A lot of guys came back till they chicks was pregnant. And yo, man, like all of this is researchable.
Oh, I know it is. I got a frat brother, man. It's bad enough for shit like that to happen once. He had that happen with 2 wives in a row. Now, they say the third time is the charm. The good thing is they say the third time is charm. His third wife that he's now married to, she has been a good woman to him. They haven't had any problems that I know of. But his first 2 wives, because he was in the service, his first wife, he got I don't know how to determine that. I never served in the armed service, but I guess like maybe an early leave or early, where he's on a tour of duty, but he got released early, and he thought he was coming home to surprise his wife.
Oh.
And when he came home, man, he said as soon as he got in, he heard moaning and shit. And he thought his wife was maybe watching a porno movie, and this motherfucker was blowing her back out, man. And fortunately for him, and I told him I'm glad he had a little voice that talked some sense into him. He admitted, man, initially his player hater side was going to come out. He was going to shoot the dude. But then he realized, man, this dude didn't force. He could tell by just size up the situation. He didn't force my wife to give him the pussy. She glad. So he just said, he cursed the boy. He said, bitch, I'm out, and I want you to be out. So then he divorced her, and then a couple years later, he married another bitch. Almost the same scenario happened with his second wife. He was on a tour of duty, came home. She was fucking another motherfucker. I was like, damn, dude, that had to be hard, man. And he just gave me a face like, you have no idea.
Insert dog face here, nigga.
So yeah, that's real talk, man. So the good of what I do is, like I said, I try to compress time, number one. I try to save guys from red pill rage. But with other guys, to your point, I think there's some guys, they ain't gonna really absorb it until they experience it themselves. They can listen to all my stories, they can listen to your stories, but there's gonna be a percentage of guys gonna be like, oh man, Alan and C Boogie, they just different type of dudes, man. But I ain't gonna experience none of that. And then once they do, they gonna be like, damn, I remember when Alan and C Boogie was talking about this shit, man. Damn.
Well, the reason why I said, like what I said about like a lot of dating coaches and things like that, is because of the nuances that you have to pick up. And you can only pick these things up by really experiencing things, man. Because if I'm out in the field, if I'm out in my real life, and I got an interaction with a nice young lady, I I ain't got time to call ARC, man. This nigga long-winded. I ain't got time for that shit, man. He's on the phone and shit, man. I'm like, fuck that. So you gotta, sometimes guys gotta really get out there and play around. And look, you're gonna fail, you're gonna touch that hot stove, whatever the case is. But I think the nuances in this game is just as important as your strategy. It's probably more important because you gotta know how to read this broad. You got to know signs of when to fall back. I mean, it's so many nuances in this thing that you have to learn. And I noticed the nuances that I've learned. It's like, okay, I learned that way before I found any kind of red pill YouTube page, man. I just figured it out, and I was mad about some things, and some things made me happy, and I was everywhere, and I finally, like you say, compressed it. And I molded it to fit my universe. And I say, if I can make this work for me, I'm the fucking crescendo. So I molded that thing and I got my mind right. And I said, you know what? They are who they are, bruh. Hey, Alan, I really got a piece about me. I mean, some things irritate me. I'm not saying that I like everything that goes on in society, but I'm at peace with it. Can't nobody change my mood but C Boogie.
Yeah, see,
Real talk.
And I hate to keep bringing up, homeboy's name, because as you can probably tell, we've been pretty cool recently compared to last year. But if I had to bring up Obsidian one more time, what you just said, man, that's what I was trying to express to him in regards to women's nature that he didn't seem to be feeling, man. I was like, in a nutshell, I was like, there's some aspects of women's fuckery I can see, you wanting to talk about and expand on. But I said, there's a lot of stuff to do with women, particularly as it relates to their true sexual nature, that you just got to reach a point where you just got to accept that that's who women are. That's who women are. Like, biologically, that's who they fucking are. And I said, if you allow yourself to continue to be angry about it, upset about it, you're just going to stress yourself out, man. And just like you just said, man, I reached a certain level where I just got a piece about it. Like I'm not really even judgmental about women about it no more. I'm just like, women are who they are, man. Just like, I like to say, it's just like any species in the world. Like, little kids probably get upset if they see a lion eat a zebra. They're like, golly, why he got to do that? But that's a lion's nature, man. That's just their nature. You just got to accept that shit in the jungle if you see that shit happen live in the jungle. That's their nature. A wasp is in their nature to want to come on your arm and sting the shit out of you, man. It ain't like they be intellectually like, well, I could choose not to sting C Boogie's arm today because he seems like a cool guy, and I really shouldn't sting him because, he's a good, treats everybody well. I mean, it's just in their nature. They gonna sting your ass, if they feel like stinging you, man. That's how I look at women, man. They are who they are. They are who they are, but a lot of guys, man, don't want to accept that, man. They get all bent out of shape and want to call them all these insulting names and shit. And, and the worst thing is thinking that they could change. Man, women been this way. It ain't like women just became this way, like, say, 50 years ago. Women always been this way. And what has really happened, see, here's the problem. And this is why I did this video that was one of my most well-received videos called The Myth of the Prudish and Monogamy-Oriented Good Girl. A lot of guys look at women today as being the anomaly, the exception to the rule. And they think those women, say, in the first half of the 20th century, were the women who were the norm, when in reality, it was just the opposite. Mm-hmm. What you see today is really how women been since the beginning of time. This whole monogamy piece, push for the monogamy piece, that was the anomaly. Monogamy, when you do your research, is only about 5,000 years old, man. It ain't been around since the beginning of time. So the way women was acting, say, in the 19th century, the first half of the 20th century, that was the fucking anomaly. Mm-hmm. But it's in women's nature, man. Again, man, it's in women's nature to respond to a man who's very alpha, very dominant, gonna bring out their slut side, their feminine side. it's like even if intellectually they don't want to respond to a motherfucker like that, they gonna respond to a motherfucker like that. It's just in their DNA too. Whereas on the flip side, a guy could be the nicest beta male in the world, and on a non-sexual level, women are going to have a warm, fuzzy, positive response to that. But on a purely sexual level, they ain't gonna never be feeling that. They, you know, if they feel like they can punk a motherfucker, and get away with being disrespectful and spoiled, that ain't gonna get their pussy wet, man. So, but anyway, man, I gotta actually bounce. I actually sacrificed the consultation session I was supposed to have, but he'll understand. I'm gonna write him now. But man, I appreciate the opportunity, man, to chop it up with you, man. Hey, and man, you're killing me with your impersonation of me, bro.
Oh, thanks. Hey, see, Boogie, man. You know, I'm looking at you, man. And, you know, like, you know, I had to study that thing, man. But yo, Alan, man, man, like this shit been great though, man. And I really appreciate you getting on. And you know, like everybody subscribe to ARC channel, man. But appreciate it, bro.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Much love and respect to you, man. Enjoy your weekend, brother.
All right, you too, man.
All right.
All right, fellas, there it is, man. You know, great stream, man, with ARC, man. Like I want to salute ARC, man. You know, man. You know, old school pimp type motherfucker, man. I've been dealing with guys like ARC since I was a kid, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. You know, so you know, ARC probably was the guy that my aunts wanted to fuck, or you know, they probably was lusting over and shit like that, man. Like he got that kind of just appeal to him and shit, man. But yo, real talk, the most of this live stream, I was fucking hypnotized and sedated by ARC. He got powers, man. No homo. ARC got powers, man. But I want to salute you guys, man. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out right here, man. Everybody subscribe to C Boogie Productions, man, and I appreciate y'all sliding through. Peace.